Jason Mix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. Wherever you are, thanks so much for dialing us in. Happy Tuesday to all. He's Jason Mix. Are we going? I noticed yesterday, I didn't even bring it up. We kind of went RJ Ochoa yesterday, both of us, in Victory Polo Monday, which he originated some time ago, that so many of his followers on the Blogging the Boys side of things have adopted it. I did as well. Today, you follow it up with another Dallas Cowboys shirt. I've gone Aggie for the rest of the week, man. We're all in them. Red ass and ready. Vanderbilt going down on Saturday.
Well, and again, RJ might have started with his Blogging the Boys, taking a photo of yourself and tweeting it in his victory. But I wear a Cowboy shirt on Monday, win or lose. That's been my tradition since, I don't know, I was a kid. And today I'm wearing one because, well, win or lose. And what I find interesting is, yesterday I was wearing this year's Miller Lite Dallas Cowboy shirt.
It's pretty cool.
Today I'm wearing last year's Miller Lite Dallas Cowboy shirt. I have a lot of them, and it's next in the closet.
See, that just proves that RJ is a fair weather fan, unlike yourself, who rides through thick and thin.
Well, and we certainly know that, but I don't put a lot of time and effort into what I'm wearing. You see, literally, I go into the closet and it's either golf shirt or T-shirt, and it's whatever's next, unless I'm doing something where I know I have to wear a specific shirt. The other day, Rob, you were giving me a bunch of crap because I wasn't matching my mask and my shirt, and you thought it looked awful.
That's
gotta match.
Well, I'm not there yet. I'm not there of thinking about, I'm wearing this shirt, I better grab this mask. In fact, in that particular case, it was I was going with the mask that was in my car, and it did not match my shirt. I am not at the point now where I think about, well, let me wear this shirt and this mask today.
Oh, well,
black mask for a black shirt.
You have to adopt that. You don't want to look like you've been horse kicked leaving the house. You don't want to look like you're missing. So choose your mask appropriately. You don't want to be like one of those. I don't know. You don't want to be that. Just don't look like, you see people walking around, there's like plaids and stripes and all kinds of different things going on. You're like, well, bless their heart. You don't want to be, I don't want people walking by you going, oh, bless his heart.
Are you saying plaids and stripes don't go together? Because I'm
not saying anything like that.
No,
but
no.
Certain,
you can rip this because I know yesterday our friend April Ann Sierra posted a photo of her at a golf tournament, and she had I don't know if it was plaid pants and a striped shirt or whatever. She had a whole lot going on, and then of course in April Ann Sierra fashion made fun of herself because obviously she didn't pay attention to what she was wearing. But I'll have you know today. I was down at the San Antonio Zoo, and I'm wearing my Cowboy shirt, and I made sure I wore my Cowboys mask because I didn't want to get ridiculed by you once again.
Dude, now I hate to go there with you. And by the way, you want to see what we're talking about? Go to ESPNSA.com. You can certainly see our YouTube channel feed right there. Also, go to our Facebook page. It's broadcast there every day. Okay, so there's that. You don't want to be wearing some kind of googly thing going on here and something googly going on down there, and it just throws the eyes off. You don't want to do that. And on the other side of that, I'm a firm believer that if you're wearing a Cowboy shirt, you shouldn't wear a Cowboy mask. Then you look like you're some kind of like, I drink the Kool-Aid kind of dude.
I do drink the Kool-Aid.
But you don't want to let everybody know you've gone too far. It's like when the people that drive around with the names of their dogs on the back of their car or that's what it is, man. You don't want to go that far.
See,
you just want to be right down the middle.
And if I would have been wearing a baseball cap, my mask, and my shirt would have matched. Because I will do that. See, like what you got going on, that's borderline wrong. I mean, at least you're not wearing another team and you're wearing an ESPN hat.
What is your belief on?
If you were wearing that Aggie shirt and a Cowboys hat, that would be all wrong.
Hold on.
Why would that be
Rob,
wrong? That
what mask were you wearing when you showed up today?
White. I wore white. I have several Aggie masks, and I looked down and I went, I don't want to be too Captain Aggie today. I don't want to be that. I want to represent in a professional manner with my shirt. So I'm just going to go with straight white. Still team colors. I'm still coordinated, but I'm not over the top. See, I the sad thing is obvious that I give this way too much thought. Now, here's my next question. And,
no, you don't.
And this is something that has been debated amongst me and my brothers forever. How are you on mixing brands when you're out? Like if you're wearing Nike pants and Nike. You got an Adidas shirt on, are you, or do you feel like you have to coordinate brands, or can you break out? Because I am not I'll wear Nike and Under Armour and Puma and everything else all together.
Well,
I do not coordinate brands. I don't think you have to.
I typically don't pay attention to that.
Good.
Whatever that is. I will tell you that last week when we were in Seattle, I was wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt and Tommy Bahama shoes, and my daughter said I look like a frat girl.
I don't understand.
I was too matchy with my shoes and my shirt, and I didn't do it intentionally.
Your shoes look like
I didn't do it intentionally. It just kind of happened that way.
What exactly did those shoes look like, Jason Bennix?
They're just
little strappy
blue
things.
There's no straps. There's no. They're slip-ons. They're just blue shoes.
So okay. I was just curious why you would have looked like a woman suddenly when you were wearing those shoes.
No, I mean, she said frat girl because it could be a frat boy or a sorority girl or whatever, but just looked like, because I was
weren't
matching.
Pumps.
No, they were just slip-on shoes that are quite frankly easy to wear when you're going through the airport. They're good. They're good. I'm going to the airport shoes.
Mules.
Huh?
What's a mule?
A mule is a slide-in. A mule is a slide-in kind of sandal without a strap on the back.
You mean slides?
There was no strap.
No, they're not
sandals.
The toe is covered.
Yes,
it's called a mule.
The toe is covered. They were whole shoes.
But you don't slide into them, do you?
Well, they're slip-ons.
They're slip-on, but you have a heel to them. They're not. Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure you weren't walking around in lady shoes.
Welcome to Fashionista Week with the Blitz.
I don't know how we got there.
Matching masks and hats and. I do apologize. I say, and if you're out there and you want to wear a team shirt and a team mask, that is perfectly fine. Don't listen to Rob Thompson. That is perfectly fine.
I mean, take one good look at me. Immediately. Don't do what he does.
And quite frankly, I don't care what your mask says, what it looks like. Just wear your damn mask. Period. Doesn't matter what it says.
True that. Absolutely. Jerry was quite happy with the game on Saturday. It looks to have more and more fans and excited about going up to Seattle, maybe not having such a home field advantage up there, though. You're going to hear from him as he talks about the home field advantage and its effect on the league. He's going to, we'll hear from Jerry, talk about it just coming up. Eric Morris, head football coach of your Incarnate Word University, going to join us post-haste in about 15 minutes, even about 30 minutes, actually. They're playing, Jason. We got a season. It's happening. It's going to be a bizarre one. And I never heard of a graduation day football party, but it looks like it could be possible. He's going to join us here in just a couple minutes as we look forward to a Southland Conference football season. Everything announced today.
Well, and that certainly is what they're doing. They will play their first game on February 20th. Incarnate Word have, and the FCS National Championship game slated for May 8th. Let's see what happens. 6-game schedule. Let's rock and roll it. It really, when I was reading it today, and it was announced about an hour ago, it almost felt like the XFL or the Alliance season coming. And all of a sudden, I'm like, spring football is weird, but I'm down for it. I'm kind of glad that we're going to have some options. And if you're Incarnate Word, embrace this because people might pay attention to you that otherwise wouldn't.
I think you've hit it on the head, Jason. Can you imagine a crisp spring afternoon on a Saturday afternoon looking for something to do and knowing Incarnate Word's got a football game, fine team coming to town, and it's about 75 degrees. You can go watch a football game down there in that stadium. If there's the space allowable, I think it's a lot of fun. I think this is going to be a good thing for the conference and definitely good for Incarnate Word and even better for San Antonio football as a whole. Coach Morris is going to join us at 4:30 as we look forward to a Southland Conference that will be played, but it will be with the 21, it won't be.
Well, that's it. The 2020 season played in the spring of 21. And while we talk about coaches, we lost a great one today.
Yes, we did.
Sonny Detmer passed away earlier today. A great guy, great coach. I mean, it's interesting when you're around enough high school coaches. You know, there are some that you come across that you never find any other coach that says a bad thing about that one. And Sonny was one of those guys, and one of the most friendly guys. And, you know, in the media, you know, some coaches are a little standoffish to media. Others embrace it. He was one that embraced it. In fact, every phone call or every time I talk to Sonny, he says, "How you doing? You doing good? Stealing money. Me too. Doing what we love. Let's talk some football." And that was Coach Detmer through all the years. A tough loss today with Sonny Detmer passing away.
Legendary high school coach, good man. Sad to hear it. Condolences to all who loved him. Sonny Detmer passes as we get word today. Hey, let's come back talking some football. Jerry talks about the weekend's game, the platform that this might be heading up to Seattle, everything that goes along with maybe adding some more fans. Jerry's in a good mood. You're going to hear from him next, and then Coach Morris will join us very quickly after that. Hang around, you lucky devils. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Are you looking for authentic sausage, the kind you could find in butcher shops back in the old days? Then Kielbasa smoked sausage is what you've been looking for. You see, at Kielbasa, they made their legendary smoked sausage in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Then they smoke it over real hardwood, just the way Rufus Kielbasa did it back in 1949 when he started the company right here in San Antonio. And everything they make is still made right here in San Antonio over on South Brazos Street. One of those great local companies that is nationwide, because at Kielbasa, they're on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meats. So you know when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you are getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you'll ever eat. If it ain't the best, just call Michael Kielbasa. He'll give you your money back. His phone number is on the back of every package sold. Kielbasa sausage is now available at Walmart. And, of course, you can find Kielbasa sausage, bacon, chorizo, and those breakfast links at an H-E-B near you. So go get yourself some Kielbasa today.
Dallas Cowboys football is on ESPN San Antonio and 102.7 Jack FM.
Zeke Elliott walked all the dogs.
Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, Alamo Water Softeners, Ewald Kubota, The Root Pub, and The Angry Elephant.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, you get arrested, somebody you know gets arrested. Of course, you want to get out of jail fast, and the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You can even start the bonding process there online. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. And trust me, there's a lot of conditions there. Your best option is AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service, because when you get arrested, generally you don't drive yourself to jail. Your car's somewhere. You need to get somewhere. They'll get you where you need to go. Of course, they're open 24/7 to get you out fast. They're discreet and confidential and have offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide, up in Dallas, down in the Valley, in Corpus, anywhere in between. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. 225-2121 or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota subcompact and compact tractors. Our reliable #1 selling tractors are designed for easy operation and feature all the performance-matched attachments needed to tackle any job. Right now, get 0 down and 0% APR for 84 months and save up to $1,700, plus no payments for 90 days. Now through October 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Everybody's taking advantage of Diamonds Direct's 5-year zero-interest financing offer. In fact, our store hours have been extended to include this Sunday to accommodate the demand. But hurry, this offer ends September 30th. Pick any item. Get the Diamonds Direct amazing value price. Make no down payment and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Whether your purchase is $3,000 or $30,000, you can do this. 5 years, zero interest on approved credit. And remember, we'll be open this Sunday afternoon for your convenience. Get details and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
At Dos Equis, we realize you've missed celebrating quite a few holidays this year. That's why we're proposing a makeup holiday. St. Patrick de Mayo of Independence Day. Sounds very festive. Dos Equis, a most interesting beer. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Copyright 2020.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
good night,
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
It is the Blitz. Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. If you have been in a collision with your vehicle, no matter what with, whoever it was with as an attorney, I'm sure, working for them, you want to make sure you have the very best working for you. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com, the number to know, 210-900-0400. Call him as soon as possible after a collision. The aftermath of the remarkable comeback, it's kind of like we used to call it back in my Baptist church days, the afterglow. You get done with everything and everything is wonderful. And then you awake to the harsh light of day and you realize, oh my goodness, that we had no business winning that number one. And number two, how did we get into this situation? Because everything went wrong at one point or another in every facet of our football team. But hope springs eternal. They did get the win. Jerry speaks on the win and what it does mean when you get wins that don't mean that much or you didn't expect. And also the possibility of more and more fans. He was quite happy with what went on Sunday afternoon.
Well, and he was, but I think the life in the NFL, you don't get a whole lot of time to revel in the glory, especially when you've got a team like Seattle on the docket next. Because even as Jerry said today, he needs to take a page out of the Jeff Traylor playbook here, put some cheese in the locker room. Don't eat the cheese because you got Seattle next.
We're not taking a football team into Seattle that's really hitting on all cylinders at all. We've got a lot of work to do. You saw it defensively. We've got some serious work to do. We've got alignments to work on. We've got basic, if you will, defensive technique to work on. We're still working through the kinds of things you might be working through midway through training camp. Now, other teams are too. And so but we've got a lot to work on, but that's the good news. Boy, if you needed anything for this team was to get out around those fans at the stadium, get out around a win like that, that'll do more than if we'd have had another month to work on techniques and structure of our defensive alignment against each one of these teams. Now, this game, folks, this game is about passion. This game is about who wants it the most. It's more about that than it is some of the things we run in analytics.
Yeah, it's passion. It's analytics. I mean, they've all learned a new word up there in Dallas. And they try to use it every which way they can because I think they're trying to speak it into existence, this analytics thing.
I find it very strange, Jason, that when you watch, and I'm not even going to use that term, but when you watch the most accessible of the medias, the networks, and you read the most accessible of the media outlets, the printed version of the newspaper and all that, there hasn't been a whole lot of talk about analytics and McCarthy and his first 2 games. Apart from the peripheral, the blogosphere, those are the guys that have really found that, and that's what their job is. They're in the weeds, go find the good weeds, and that's what they did. And you can go ahead and say that that's not what it was meant to sound like, but I know that it did.
Well, they're bloggers.
Yes, but that's not what that was supposed to sound like. But what they did do was point to the fact that of something that is in fact worthy of discussion. We had RJ Ochoa come on the other day, and for all intents, just about call McCarthy a fraud. That to get the gig that he got, he used the term. He threw around terms and analytical ideas and using the numbers to better your team and all that kind of stuff. And then arrived in camp, and that was it about any kind of analytics. It was all about gut feel. But I think that, but to hear Jerry respond to the periphery does prove to me once again that he does have rabbit ears. He's very aware of what's going on out there in Cowboy land.
Well, and he certainly is. He reads a lot. He listens a lot. He listens to everything. I mean, that's kind of the interesting thing. And when you hear Jerry on some of the interviews like this one on 105.3 The Fan, I heard you talking to Steven the other day about this. And, I don't think he's in the room while Steven is on the phone with them. I mean, he knows when his coaches are on. I mean, I know that they ask, well, what time, because we have to record Mike McCarthy at Dark 30. They want to know what time are we airing it, so that they're able to listen to what what we're doing. Not necessarily send us a link so we can have it for later. They want to know when it's on live. That Jerry does pay attention to all that, and he knows, and he can also stoke the fire with it. It is interesting though, because if they had lost that game, imagine how different this week would be when it comes to talking about the Cowboys. Instead, you can look at the bad. There was plenty of bad. I mean, that's the kind of game that coaches love, especially, I would think, a coach in his first year with the group. We got the win, but we got a whole lot of tape with bad stuff all over it that we're able to focus on and tell our guys, you're really not that good. Yes, we got the win, but we need to fix this, and we need to fix this, and we need to fix this, and we need to fix that. And you heard that from Jerry. Well, they're going to Seattle, but they're not taking a team that's ready to go to Seattle.
One of the continuing concerns is that defensive line. Issues with injuries, issues with changes in position, and D-Law has taken a fair amount of abuse for really not a lot of productivity so far in this new scheme, and it might be because of the techniques you figure that Jerry was talking about.
Well, I mean, the D-Law is doing some things differently than he's done before, and last year his numbers weren't there, but Robert Quinn was getting those sack numbers because he was getting the attention. You sign a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence to the contract that he signed, his expectations go up, or the fans' expectations of that player go up. And you can look about any sport. I mean, you look at Richard Jefferson. If he would have signed a contract in San Antonio for half the amount that he was getting, he would have been a great Spur. But for the amount of money that he was getting, he didn't deliver on that. DeMarcus Lawrence, to this point, and it's all about sacks at his position, it isn't getting there. He's also playing hurt, and how hurt? I don't know what that's the question, because I mean, Jerry talked about D-Law today on 105.3 The Fan, and he danced around it on a leg that I don't think D-Laws could handle right now. I mean, this is some serious dancing.
Well, he's sound physically in my mind. But now, does he have a nick, or he have nicks? Absolutely. But the main thing we found out, and when we did, we put it on him good, as a commitment on him, is that heart inside him.
Uh-huh.
Now, you talking about a guy that will give you everything he's got, and he'll give it all day long, and he'll run completely across the field just to get an angle. But he's going to give you everything he's got. And as we adjust our defense, and we will adjust our defense. As we adjust that, as we get the right combinations of, I'm going to say tact, T-A-C-T, tact. As we make these adjustments, then you're going to see him have more production. But make no mistake about it, he's the integral or an integral part of what we've got to get to on our pressure.
That didn't really answer the question on 105.3 The Fan. And is he signing checks in the middle of this? Listen closely.
Our defense, and we will adjust our defense. As we adjust that, as we
is he doodling? Is he signing checks? Is he writing out tact before he spells it for us? What can I say here, boys?
Adjust our defense,
tact.
And we will
tact.
adjust.
That's
our
a good
defense.
one. Tact.
As we adjust that, as we.
Well, what's he doing?
He's signing DeMarcus Lawrence's paycheck.
Well, and again, I mean that's like a coach saying, "Man, we are a lot better than you think because you can't see it." Well, okay.
The nicked and not hurt thing I found interesting, which I believe Gregory would say the same. I mean, the D-Law would say the same thing. But I do believe, and I've read enough to see that he's not comfortable standing up, that the leverage that he's accustomed to getting off the edge and doing things that he used to do, standing up when you never know whether he's going to fall back into coverage. And by the way, did you guys see Hill fall back into coverage at one point against the Falcons? Looked like a bowling ball going backwards. But what the disguising part of the defense they play is him standing up, and he's having trouble coming off the edge. There are some technical stuff that we would have been able to address in preseason that, quite frankly, they didn't because the lack of games. And I think we're seeing that right there with his production. Hey, let's talk some football, some real football around the corner. February kickoff here in San Antonio. It's going to happen. Coach Eric Morris of the Incarnate Word University Cardinals is going to join us next as we look forward to a 2021-20 football season. Hold on tight. You're on the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Do you have a retirement plan, no matter your age or how close you are to retirement? You need a plan to make sure you don't run out of money. Jason Minnick's here for Pax Financial Group. At Pax Financial Group, they know you want to be financially prepared. In order to do that, you need trusted guidance. At Pax, they have the experience and tools to crunch your retirement numbers and get the answers you need. If you have a plan, let Pax double-check your numbers. At Pax, they believe everybody deserves to be hopeful about their future. They understand why it is important for families to protect their hard-earned money, and a key reason they're a trusted financial advisor for so many families over the past decade. Connect with Pax. 210-881-5700 is the phone number, 881-5700, or go to the website, paxfinancialgroup.com, paxfinancialgroup.com. Go there now. Investment advisory services offered by Pax Financial Group, LLC.
Don't set your fantasy lineups without consulting the Fantasy Gods. Brought to you by RDK Advisors. Brandon Medina and Michael Jimenez help get your fantasy football lineup set every Sunday morning from 11 to noon on 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Heard in an accident and bills piling up? Thomas J. Henry can advance living expenses on qualified cases. Start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
Northeast Independent School District is now hiring and training school bus drivers. Whether you're looking for a new job, you're a retiree, or you're retired military, come help drive students to succeed and apply at Northeast ISD Transportation today. No experience is necessary, and you will get paid while earning your CDL and learning how to drive a school bus. The Northeast ISD Transportation Department is ranked as one of the top 100 school bus fleets in America, and our drivers receive exceptional pay and benefits, including health, dental, vision, and retirement. If you're looking for work, if you're retired from the military, or you simply want to make a difference in our community, apply now with the Northeast ISD Transportation Department. Join our team and and discover Northeast ISD by calling 210-356-9229. That's 210-356-9229. Or you can text Drive Bus to 797979. That's text Drive Bus to 797979.
Tune in to the Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it will affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics, 210-804-5555.
Ever wonder just how far an extra mile really goes? Drive a Mercedes-Benz van and find out. Start with a network of over 250 authorized dealerships, backed by a sales force ready to help you with everything from customization to service on vans like the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter that's tailored to your lifestyle. With options like Blind Spot Assist and MBUX voice command for spoken directions, weather, and more.
The route is being calculated.
So whether you're enjoying life on the trail or working hard on the job, see how far an extra mile can really go by taking the first step into an authorized Mercedes-Benz van dealership today. Mercedes-Benz vans start at just $33,790, now with 0% APR financing for up to 60 months.
MSRP in our 2019 Sprinter van excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Some equipment is practice optional. APR valid on 2019 Sprinter vans, excluding cab chassis, only to qualified commercial customers exclusively through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services at participating dealers through September 30th, 2020.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. Welcome aboard. Good news coming out of the Southland Conference today. Football will be had in 2021. Let's talk about it with head football coach of the Incarnate Word University Cardinals, Eric Morris, joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Coach, welcome aboard, man. Congratulations. We're playing football.
better late than never, right? So our kids are fired up. All this hard work they put in for the last couple months, allow them to get out and show what they've done in front of family and friends, and being able to get out and play the game that we love.
You know, Coach, I know how tough it was when they announced that there would be no fall schedule, and we've seen some teams from the South, and like Stephen F. Austin playing UTSA in the Dome this past Saturday, continuing to play this fall, and you guys and most everybody in the Southland waiting until the conference decided what they were going to do. What's it been like with your players as they're watching other teams play, yet they're just, I guess, I can't say practice right now, but, in the weight room doing stuff, staying engaged, but not playing?
Yeah, well, I think, there's been a lot of different agendas, and I think the Southland really ultimately couldn't put that together, and whether it's been safety to start with, and then, you get into the financial piece of it for us being a smaller conference, maybe not being able to afford the testing that some of these other conferences are doing. And then some of it, I think, quite frankly, is to get a recruiting advantage. Some of these players, some of these teams going out and playing right now, trying to, show themselves. Some of the guys in our conference aren't eligible for postseason play. So I think that was their agenda. So for us, first and foremost, I've always been a guy that considers myself to be a player's coach. So safety came first and foremost. But then, for us, looking at the data on all the research going on and on COVID throughout the whole entire nation, has been conflicted. I don't know what to believe. I think there's so many hidden agendas. It's gotten political in a lot of reasons. So, football has always been America's sport. We need football. It brings people together. And so, at one point, I think it's been tough for our kids. Our kids have handled it better than our coaches, if you want me to be quite frank with you. I think for coaches to prepare so long, after the long break we had. But for us, I think it puts us in a good position because we weren't able to be, our campus was shut down, all the way for the spring semester, and then it was shut down through the summer. So when we started fall camp, we were probably 2 months behind most teams in our conference. So, I think this gives us a chance to kind of catch up, to kind of train the guys the right way. I think we're seeing all these injuries in the NFL. I've talked to some buddies that are playing right now. Their injuries have increased over the course of the first, 3 weeks of this thing. So, it gives us a chance to kind of get them back in the weight room, get them back in shape, and really prepare their bodies the right way to get this thing going. But yeah, it's going to be tough, but we got to be patient. I think that, this gives us a chance to compete for a conference championship. The FCS came out and said they're going to do a playoffs, which is, I think equivalent to go into a bowl game for our level, and to be able to win a conference championship and then make a run into it. Something that we experienced a couple of years ago, that first year here is something I want for our players, and always will want that chance to compete for a championship. So I like where we are. Obviously, as the science keeps progressing, as we get truths, as we find out about, what we need to do about heart conditions concerning COVID, what we need to do with the quarantine times, I think we'll know a lot more come spring, and we'll be able to put a great product out there where our kids are properly trained.
Eric Morris, head football coach of Incarnate Word University Cardinals, on news today. The Southland Conference will be kicking off in February. Sam Houston State first on the docket for Incarnate Word on February the 20th. Now, how are you going to treat the time between now and then? Do you just kind of implement a brand new summer program and build your way toward that first kickoff like you would have over the summer? Do you have a calendar in place for yourself already?
Calendars are not my friend. My wife, I think at night wants to really get aggravated with me. I've probably made 10 to 12 calendars over the course of the last 4 or 5 months, and every one of them I have to end up wadding up and throwing it in the trash because something has changed. So I think finally, we have a time to start. We have a start date. We know kind of what we can do. So we're going to scale it back. Football, we've been practicing football for the last 2 months. We're going to scale it back starting next week. Really go into a heavy weight training program and try to, get some muscle mass, get strong in the weight room, and get in shape on the turf a little bit, running with our strength coach. And then we'll come back at the end of October, and we'll do what typically looks like a spring ball, but we'll call it a fall ball. So we'll have 15 practices where we're able to have pads, get them ramped up a little bit. And then after that, they'll get about a month break, and we'll be able to bring them back. I think it's the second or third week of January, and then we'll go into actual fall camp. So I think we get 28 practices if you count back from our start time. So we'll need all those. We're going to play, we're going to be a young team again. And then, Sam Houston State, who's arguably the most talented team in our league, comes to our place week 1. So we'll have to be prepared for that. But, I think with the likes of 35 to 40 practices with pads before that time, we have the ample amount of time to get our kids prepared.
Eric Morris joining us here on the Blitz, ESPN San Antonio. You think about that February 20th home opener against Sam Houston State. The advantage that I think you guys have, and when I'm looking at this schedule, I kind of flashed back to when, we had the Commanders here last year. It was the XFL and the thirst for football in the spring. And, I think about, going down to Benson Stadium. No other football is going to be on. People that want to watch football won't decide, well, do I go to a game or watch the Aggies or Longhorns on TV, or, you're not competing with others in town. How will you guys embrace the fact that you guys will be playing in the spring? I mean, imagine, a nice March afternoon down there at Benson Stadium watching football.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think we're blessed with the weather in San Antonio. I mean, I think some of these teams up north might have to deal with a little bit more bad weather starting off in February. So we're blessed with that. And then, too, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I think that this city loves football. We saw that with the Alliance, with the Commanders. I mean, I went to a couple of their games, and, there's thousands of people there. So our marketing team here at the university, I think, has a challenge ahead of them where, this is a great opportunity for us to kind of put ourselves out there on the front steps of this city and invite them to do a bunch of city stuff so we can do get them here in town. I've even pitched it to them that we should play 1 or 2 games in the Alamo Dome if we could get that worked out. As far as letting our kids get out there in a great stadium and to perform at a high level. And then I think the TV times, I think we'll have a chance to play on some ESPN 2 games to where we can be on national TV and kind of showcase our brand of football. And then obviously the playoffs is the best part of FCS. I mean, that's something that it'll be in Frisco again this year. It's going to be played during the spring, which I think, we'll have a lot of eyes on us during that time. So it's going to be fun. The challenging part is going to be able to get these kids rested up in time to have a good summer program and then start again next fall is the challenging part in my mind. But we'll work towards that. Our kids were fired up today when it finally came out. So it was fine. I've had to deliver so much bad news to them over the course of the last 5 to 6 months to actually deliver some good news. And the fact that we're going to be able to complete a season in the Southland, crown a champion, and then move on to the playoffs was something that's extremely gratifying.
You just touched on something. I mean, if you go through it, the playoffs in the FCS, semifinals are May 8th. That's typically around graduation time. May 15th is the championship game. So after you guys go win the national championship on May 15th, do you start your traditional spring practice the following Monday morning?
No. If we win, if we make it to the national championship, then I'll probably declare it a holiday at the University of Incarnate Word. I don't think I have the capability to do that, but I'm going to say it here.
You do
publicly first.
You win, you will.
That's right. And then I'm going to give everybody a month off. We'll do nothing for a month. I don't even want to see anybody for a month if we play in the national championship game.
Eric Morris, head coach at Incarnate Word University, joining us. On the other side of things, when was the last time you had a Saturday afternoon available to kick back and watch football?
It's been a long time. It's been a really long time. The only college football game I've ever gone to as a spectator is I went to the national championship game when Ohio State played Oregon at Jerry's World. I can't remember what year that was, but went with my uncle to that. Had a great time. But other than that, I've never been to a collegiate football game as a spectator. So, and still, it's been nice to say I'm a big guy on the grill. So I got 3 smokers in my backyard. So, this past Saturday, I had the big green egg fired up with a couple racks of ribs, some poppers, a bunch of stuff. So it's been good. Spend time with my son. I have a 5-year-old that's getting into football finally. So to really sit down, watch it, enjoy it, not be stressed out. Because, as a coach, you seem to, you're sitting around waiting for your game that day and you have butterflies. You'll turn the ESPN on and, catch a quarter here or there. And at the same time, you're nervous the whole time. But so just to kind of relax, watch it, get up early. I mean, my ideal Saturday this season is going to be maybe play a morning round of golf, 7:30. And then, get back home, tape. I guess I can tape College Game Day, turn on College Game Day for about an hour, and then sit there and flip my TV back and forth to multiple games.
Living easy on a fall afternoon. Eric Morris joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. By the way, Coach, we do a little bit of grilling around here on the Blitz as well. If by chance you should have a recipe or two that you would like to share, you can upload it to ESPNSA.com. I'm not saying that you might want to win the $50 that we give away every week for the best-looking grilled recipe brought to you by Tri-County Meat Markets, but it's a worthy enterprise, and I'm sure a lot of people would like to see what you're throwing on the grill. Eric Morris here on ESPN San Antonio. Hey, there is a silver lining to every one of these clouds, and you seem to find every one of them, Coach Morris. Congratulations, man. We're excited about the possibilities of a spring football season to kind of separate you out there and all the fun that you guys get to delay and enjoy over a fall of watching some football.
No doubt. It's going to be fun. I'll be rooting for UTSA. Usually, we're playing at the same time, so I'm not, but excited about what they're doing over there. Coach Traylor's a friend of mine, so doing a great job those first 2 weeks, and excited to see them. Maybe I can get out to watch them play at the Alamo Dome. What are they playing Friday? They play Friday now?
Friday Night Lights, yes, sir.
Friday
7:30.
night against Middle Tennessee. And as I was going to ask, are you the NCAA has so many asinine rules. So for you this year, are you allowed to go to a high school game, or is that recruiting? Are you allowed to go to another college game, or is that recruiting? Are you allowed to be a human being in the fall since you don't have a season playing?
Yeah, no high school games for sure. They've extended the dead period all the way throughout this whole entire year. So we won't be doing that. It's going to be extremely difficult for us. We like to see these kids in person, to really gauge what they can do. and it's going to be hard just recruiting off the tape. And so yeah, we'll see. I've been dove hunting a couple times on these weekends too. So I'm trying to figure out, if I can, if I want to go dove hunting on the weekends or I'd want to attend a game. So I might be picking dove hunting as opposed to games. I'm a really good shot with the shotgun too. So I limited out the first 2 times I've been so far this year.
Living the dream, Coach. This might get good to you. Be careful now.
Yeah, right. The bad part is this is how I make my living, and I think if I continue to do this, my coaching skills might go down at a rapid pace. So,
the more wins, the more the more expensive the toys you get. So, Coach Morris, congratulations, man. We're excited for you getting some football coming up. The first part of February, or the first part of the year, February 20th, the kickoff for the Southland Conference. Sam Houston State will be right here in San Antonio. We get back. Rob Manfred is announcing some stuff with Major League Baseball fans and stands for the championship series. We'll talk about it next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners, a great locally owned, family-run business by the Townsends. In San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. If your water smells like rotten eggs, earthy, like a wet dog, you probably have a problem. If your water has an odd taste to it, a metallic taste, bitter, tastes like the swimming pool, you definitely have a problem. Something's wrong. Call Alamo Water Softeners at 210-274-6122. At Alamo Water Softeners, they offer you high-quality, low-cost, low-maintenance water softeners for your home. I've had a water softener in my house from Alamo Water Softeners for years. Works amazing. And when you get one, you're instantly going to notice the difference on the dishes coming out of your dishwasher. You'll feel the difference on your skin when you get out of the shower. You're going to obviously taste the difference, and you're going to save money. An Alamo Water Softener can double the life of your appliances, and you'll see a 20 to 30% savings on energy used by your water heater. When you call them and mention my name, you'll receive free basic installation. You'll also get a free reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of select new Alamo Water Softeners. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. They're certainly the kind of company you want to do business with. Your all-in-one water solution. Alamo Water Softeners, 210-274-6122 or alamowatersofteners.com.
There's only one way to do Saturdays with the Saturday Morning Hangover. James Pledger and Jack Thompson getting you ready for all the weekend's games and then some. Saturday mornings 9 to 11, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
I want to tell you a little bit about the Institute for Functional Health. I went and met with Dr. Jacob Torres at the Institute for Functional Health a little over a year ago. I had gotten to the point as a 55-year-old man where I was, quite frankly, obese, and I was concerned about my health. It wasn't so much about weight loss. It was about the numbers that my doctors were telling me that I was getting too close to. I had never been on a diet, never thought I would be on a diet, but I did not think I could just go the way that I was and continue living a healthy life. Dr. Torres explained to me that so much rides on what you eat and how you eat, that you can affect not only your general health, but how long you live by what you put in your body. That sounds like something we've all heard, but doing it, well, that takes a whole other thing. A diet was never discussed, but losing weight certainly was. And the benefits of losing that weight was certainly brought up. And I'll tell you what, everything that I was talked about back then have all come true. After losing the weight that I did, nearly 40 pounds now, I sleep better at night. I don't snore like I used to. The joints, my knees and my hips, they're not sore like they used to be because they're not carrying the weight they were. And because I don't get so sore and I'm not so tired, I can work out even more. I can walk even more and do the things that I enjoy. All the numbers that you go along with any kind of physical, they've all gotten much, much better. The hypertension, not there anymore. I'm not worried about that. Pre-diabetic, not that issue at all. No medications. How many physicians do you know that recommend or do their very best to get you off every possible medication? Well, if I was, I wouldn't be. And right now I'm in great shape. Dr. Torres got me going on that, and I want that for you. The Institute for Functional Health, they're outstanding in the way that they handle their clients, their patients, their coaches, because they realize, and they'll tell you right off the bat, that no one-size-fit-all plan exists out there. You just can't do it programs need to be put together specifically for the individual patients, and one was put together for me just like Dr. Torres will put one together for you. It's easy to do that. Make a call. He'll meet with you however you'd like. Here's the number, 210-468-1891. Again, 210-468-1891. Everybody's different. Dr. Torres understands that. The way you lose weight might be a bit different from somebody else. They will clinically find that way and put together a program specifically for you, and before you know it, the benefits will start to show themselves. This is the easiest thing you'll ever do? No, absolutely not, but I promise you, it'll be the best thing you ever do. Get on the plan, start losing that weight, and before you know it, you'll have a beach body in the middle of winter. Call Dr. Torres, the Institute for Functional Health today, 210-468-1891, and I am sure sooner than later you're going to thank me.
It's been a hell of a year, San Antonio. I'm Chip Ingram, and my bars, the Brew Pub and Angry Elephant, have been closed more than they've been open, and I didn't see that coming. Fortunately, things are getting better. 281 North is open, and football is finally here. Our kitchen is open every day till 2 a.m., and we open for happy hour at 11 a.m. And you know, as our customers say, our food is pretty darn good. So this is me asking you to help a local guy and his staff get back on our feet. Come see us at the Brew Pub and Angry Elephant at 281 North and Redland Road.
Everybody's taking advantage of Diamonds Direct's 5-year zero-interest financing offer. In fact, our store hours have been extended to include this Sunday to accommodate the demand. But hurry, this offer ends September 30th. Pick any item, get the Diamonds Direct amazing value price, make no down payment, and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Whether your purchase is $3,000 or $30,000, you can do this. 5 years, zero interest on approved credit. And remember, we'll be open this Sunday afternoon for your convenience. Get details and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Fall is a season that's a little in the middle. It's sort of the best of two seasons. It's no longer a sweaty summer, but the winter chill is still around the corner. And that's the perfect time to feed and seed your lawn with Scott's Turf Builder. Even better than spring, because the soil is still warm, but the air is getting cool. So your lawn gets the most nutrients in the best combination of temperatures. Feed and seed now with Scott's Turf Builder and build the best lawn for every season. Scott's, it's good out here.
While you can't believe everything on social media these days, you can believe it's possible to start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Instead of waiting to see what happens when life gets back to normal, take control of your future now. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. On the go at ESPNSA.com this Saturday. Check us out live starting at 11 o'clock on every one of our platforms. Pooch-A-Mania 2020 will get off the ground and going. It's our annual event to celebrate our four-legged friends, our little pooches, Pooch-A-Mania, to benefit the San Antonio Humane Society. It's all brought to you by Alamo Water Softeners. It's a good time. We do what we normally do, but virtually this year. Jason's had some interviews going on. We're going to have fancy pet stuff going on. It's one of those swing around things. So all of our stations in our cluster are all involved, and all the different personalities are going to be going on, hosting different segments of the show. Tune in with your pooch. There are prizes to be won, contests to be had, and it'll be going on starting at 11 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, though. Neither one of us got assigned a grilling and chilling segment. That makes no sense.
No, we should have, but to each their, they needed us to fill other needs, and so just tune in. It'll be worth the giggle no matter what. It is. But at the end of the day, though, adopted dogs finding forever homes, and at the same time, the benefits that they offer to all of San Antonio is a worthy thing to have done, and we're excited to be a part of it once again. It's all brought to you by the San Antonio Express News, Jeff's Backyard, and that grilling and chilling thing. Maybe next year we'll get it done around our own casas in the VCA animal hospitals.
Speaking of grilling and chilling, on our Tri-County Meat Market, just got notice that William literally just uploaded his photo of his reverse seared steak, that T-bone. Looking really good. You want to get one of those $50 gift cards? ESPNSA.com. Upload a photo and a recipe. On Thursday, we'll give away $50 to Tri-County Meat Market.
Yeah, I didn't get much time over the grill this weekend, like none. That's the first weekend in months. I can't wait to see what everybody has done and look forward to what Tri-County has on special this week so I can cook something on this weekend, because it's SEC time now, baby.
Oh yeah,
it's time. You guys, the other stuff that was all warm up stuff. The warm up band's been going. The party's about to start this Saturday.
Oh yeah,
Big boys are here.
Big 12, baby.
Big boys.
Longhorns are
That's
playing.
right. See, there we go. See, we're all following it.
The Big 12 is honestly the Big 2.
Truth.
Let's be honest, but Texas looks really good. I'm excited about this weekend. It's just, I mean, although a little nerve-wracking seeing Notre Dame's game get postponed. I mean, literally about an hour after I get noticed that Mike Golick was going to be on the call for that game, I saw that it got canceled.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I think that now that we've gone through this in other leagues, when I hear that, I just expect it. It's not the end of the world now. We understand the processes behind it. Hopefully there's time to get it rescheduled, and Notre Dame will continue on their run to take the one and only ACC title that they'll have an opportunity to win. And, man, I'm rooting for them all the way through. I'm not a domer at all, but you have a chance to knock down some Clemson and maybe save the world from another Mac Brown-led team that, man, they're good. Maybe Notre Dame can knock them down. There was some good news coming out of baseball. Major League Baseball, of course, they've been talking about bubbling up the championship series up in Arlington and in California. Well, I didn't know that there was a possibility of fans coming out, but Manfred intimated today that there probably will be fans in stands for the NLCS.
Well, for the NLCS and the World Series in Arlington, that won't include the Texas Rangers, of course. But
but fans and stands. I joke, Jason, that corrugated barn that Globe Life is. I was just going to take some metal cutters and just cut a hole in the outfield fence, and we could all stare in like Huckleberry Finn and watch the games that way. But how much do you think a ticket to a small stadium, a limited capacity World Series game for the Dodgers, if they find a way, or the Yankees, if they find a way? Astros ain't gonna be there. But I'm just what I'm talking about is the big money towns where there's lots of money. How much do you figure they would pay for a seat?
I mean, let's look at it. The Globe Life Field has 40,300 seats available. If you go with the governor's 50% rule, you're looking at about 20. You go with all the spacing stuff is in there, I'm going to probably say maybe 10. You might be able to get about 10,000 in there for the World Series. They ain't going to be cheap. And according to the commissioner, the only thing holding up fans right now for the NLCS and the World Series in Arlington is approval from Texas government officials. I mean,
they must still be at lunch, because that's not going to take long.
Well, I was going to say, you're waiting on that. Consider it done. I mean, and they're going to lose. Baseball says they're losing $3 billion this year. So if they could sell 10,000 tickets to, a max of 14 games, but let's say it's 10 games, they're going to do everything they can. Now you might have a lot of TV executives and major sponsor executives that promote that, that are going to end up with some of those prime seats. But I do think it's nice, and I imagine they'll let families in. I mean, I'm surprised, like in the NHL bubble in Canada, you got the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning that are playing in the Stanley Cup. Tampa Bay won Game 2 last night, so the series is 1-1. They won't let fans from the United States, the families, can't travel to be at the Stanley Cup. Even though they all bubbled and all prepped, the Canadian government said no.
I don't know. Seems kind of petty. But, hey, airing of grievances.
Yep.
Turnabouts, sometimes it's served cold. In the 5 o'clock hour, we got a game 3 tonight. We're going to look at the Lakers and the Nuggets. Lots of NBA calendar news. We'll tell you when the season will begin. The draft and pre-draft processes are going on as well. There's the coaching rumors are certainly circling. The 76ers have the availability of several high-profile coaches, Billy Donovan being maybe the lead prospect there for Philadelphia, but we'll look there as well. Jerry talks about going to Seattle and all things Dallas Cowboys. We're going to look at what he had to say today. And Deion Sanders, new head football coach at Jackson State. Who are his assistant coaches? Depends on when you looked at Twitter. We'll look at what's going on there at Jackson State. And Jason and I, we got a theory. We got us a theory as to what is actually happening there. It's good for everybody involved, nothing negative. So hang on tight. We got a lot to talk about in the 5 o'clock. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. A lot has changed in 2020. Yes, sir. Times like these, they require a most interesting beer, Dos Equis. And while bars are closed, backyards, porches, and balconies, well, they're still very much open. So when your weekend plans include a pants-optional virtual happy hour, and bar hopping means going from the couch to the pool or the front porch to the backyard, make it more interesting with an ice-cold Dos Equis. Dos Equis, a most interesting beer.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Copyright 2020.
We saved big money with our Progressive Home and Auto Bundle and used the cash to take a family vacation.
To Hawaii.
Who's up for a luau?
Yeah!
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big money with Progressive, but not enough to go to Hawaii. They'll probably use it for things like the mortgage and groceries, or even a travel magazine, so at least they can see pictures of Hawaii.
Aloha!
Yes, say hello to those beautiful Hawaiian beaches in that magazine. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Let's go! Go! With Go-Go Squeeze! We're going, growing, standing tall. Climbing, laughing, hide and seeking, giving our all.
Our kids' days are filled with adventure, and Go-Go Squeeze is there for every run, jump, step of the way. Made from wholesome ingredients like 100% fruit and veggies, real yogurt, and no artificial anything in Go Anywhere pouches, so our kids can keep going wherever their adventures take them. Go-Go Squeeze. You make the memories, we'll make the snacks. Find us in the applesauce aisle.
Injuries happen even during a crisis. When they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, sports injuries, dislocations, and sprains and strains. With 2 locations, they have extended hours Monday through Saturday, on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury with no urgent care or emergency room copay. Injured? Get to Ortho Now. Visit TSAOG.com/Ortho Now for more information.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Picking up an online order? No problem. It'll just be a moment. You know, we've got more convenient ways to shop besides our same-day store pickup. You can also shop from your car with our free curbside pickup. Or you can even shop completely from home with our free next-day delivery. Just order by 10 p.m. on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Free next-day delivery on eligible orders. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
For everything Dallas Cowboys.
Touchdown Cowboys!
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. Where the pros play. KCDC San Antonio. Jason Minutes. Rob Thompson. The Blitz.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com, wherever you are. Thanks for dialing us in. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger producing us all the way to 7 o'clock, 7:30. We got your pregame for the Rangers and Diamondbacks. Texas Rangers brought to you by GPS in Texas. Rangers get going at 7:30. First pitch just a little bit after 8 o'clock. We teased the NBA, and we were about to speak of it, but what I teased was wrong.
What?
We have a breaking news stinger. I talked of the rumor mill. Billy Donovan interviewing with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Breaking news.
A Woj bomb just exploded in my lap. I say that with the greatest amount of respect. Billy Donovan has signed with the Chicago Bulls to be their next head basketball coach. Headed up to the Midwest, Chicago Bulls. I didn't see that coming.
He should trade Lauri Markkanen.
It does seem surprising that Billy Donovan, who you would figure would have had the pick of the jobs that he wanted, and look at the ones that are still open. The Bulls, to me, are the least attractive job that's available. When you thought he was going to end up with Philadelphia, it's for you. We laugh. Oh, Mike D'Antoni's going to interview for the 76ers job. Well, it won't work there. Mike D'Antoni linked to the Indiana job. So is Ty Lue and everybody else. But Billy Donovan, you would have thought, would have been able to pick his destination and gone there. And
there's talent. There's talent in Chicago. I don't think anybody, I mean, they're not bereft, but I thought Donovan was looking for a little bit more than head coach. I think Billy Donovan looks at what Greg Popovich is and has become with the Spurs. And while he's not the general manager, he has the job kind of above and around the general manager and has a lot of control, or at least a lot of say in the talent. And he got to work with Sam Presti, who is, for my money, as a GM, a talent acquirer and finder, just about the best in the business. And I think I felt like he wanted more control over the personnel side because he was just never going to get that from Presti. And why would he want to? Maybe he was going to get that from Chicago, though I'm a little surprised. They got a new young GM there, too. So maybe not so much pressure. Working in Philadelphia, whoever gets hired there, going to have to make a pretty big decision, I believe, whether you're going to keep both those young guys, Simmons or Embiid, or you're going to have to find a way to make them work out together. And with Chicago, you got a bunch of pieces and parts, and you can kind of find your own way without some preconceived ideas about you got to trade Embiid or you've got to trade Ben Simmons. So maybe it's an easier gig to take over.
Well, I mean, look, he studies this a whole lot more and from different angles than you and I will. And, I don't know why he would have taken that job unless, I haven't seen how much are they paying him compared to maybe what Philadelphia and some others were willing to pay him, or, relationships that he might have. To me, it's just surprising that of all the jobs, that's the one that goes first. And with what you would thought was the best candidate out there.
Well, you get Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and Kobe White. That's a pretty young and pretty good young trio of basketball, and all playing different positions, all available. Wendell Carter had a good year, a good college career at Duke. Maybe there's some potential there. Chris Dunn, not bad. So there are pieces and parts there. I think they kind of fell through the cracks with all the publicity around the 76ers and New Orleans, and the Rockets kind of collapsed with D'Antoni. Also, other news, Jason, the NBA has announced there will be no NBA season immediately following this NBA season, that we're going to wait till after the first of the year.
Well, so the 2021 season will actually all be played in 21. Kamish said today that he expects to start in January, which means no Christmas Day basketball. I really did think that we would end up, training camp in mid-November and the start of the NBA season on what has traditionally been the unofficial start of the NBA season, and that's on Christmas Day. With the commission saying today, January at the earliest, there goes that Christmas Day theory that I had. And Christmas Day is still close enough to January. They might rework something when the TV networks say, hello, we've carved this out for you guys. But in a COVID world, who knows? But the fact that they're going to come back in January and try to get back on what he called a more traditional schedule, I find interesting, because I thought that this COVID year would put us in the ability or in the time frame to change the NBA calendar permanently and not go back to the way it was. And maybe because of the Olympics, they want to be done a little bit sooner. Hearing some of the guys talk in their various interviews, they like having the summers off because it marries up with school summers. And so for vacation reasons, they've got of all the pro sports, them and hockey have the best off time because it marries up with the school kids.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would hate for you to have to lose that. But you know what? In order for you to lose that, how about we compensate you with, what we'll do is we'll continue to compensate you with millions and millions and millions of dollars. And, you don't have to take the money. You can stay at home and have your summers free, but maybe the season will change. I just can't imagine a world where we go back to the old NBA schedule. I think there's an opportunity to be had, and the NBA is going to take it. There's some things that need to be fixed and taken care of in the meantime, but the old schedule, the Christmas Day basketball, I still think will be a thing. I think at some point that will be the ceremonial beginning once again. But this October, November basketball, that's gone, baby. That's gone. They're gonna capitalize on free time without the NFL, and they're gonna do their very best to do that. And they'll fight basketball or baseball. They don't have any compunction with that. And you just feel like that's where they're headed.
And if you look at basketball, I think playing right now where we've got everything going on. And, you've got NFL, you've got Major League Baseball, you've got hockey playoffs going on, basketball playoffs going on. The other night, the Sunday night game, well, you might read that NFL ratings were down. The Sunday night game was the number one show. Number two is the Emmys. Number three, you had basketball. And so, the NBA needs to make the business decision that says, there's no reason for us to compete with basketball. I mean, that's the reason why Christmas Day has always been the start. It's the end of the NFL season. All they're competing with at that point is playoffs, and they don't schedule games on for the most part on Sundays when there's playoff football. They know, hey, we don't need to have a slew of games on Super Bowl Sunday.
Get me to August. That's all I ask. Get me to August. If you can find a way to get through the dry, barren months of July, I'm down completely. Just figure it out, spread it out. I don't know how long the season's got to be. Get me to August 1 so I can dive into preseason football. That's all I ask.
Well, okay, August 1. I thought you were saying get me through August.
No, get me
you're
to
saying
August.
To August because, I could see the delay in the NBA Finals some point late July.
Get me to August, man.
And I certainly would be totally fine with that.
Tonight we have Game 3, Lakers and Nuggets. It took a great shot that has been dissected. Of course, something like what Anthony Davis did on Sunday night is going to continue to be dissected. But the way that, it's been approached by so many of the media types that LeBron was not part of the play. It was designed for Anthony Davis to take the shot. And LeBron, again, showed why he's not a GOAT. Have you heard this debate, which I just continue to find utterly ridiculous? The fact that there's any question why LeBron would let Anthony Davis take the shot was answered with the fact that Anthony Davis made the shot. The decision was made correctly. The play was drawn up perfectly. The shot happened. Whether LeBron took it or not, I refuse to quibble as to his alpha dogness when it's either him or Anthony Davis to take a game winner.
I mean, I hear those arguments and go, are you talking about, LeBron or Dwight Howard? I mean, we're talking about LeBron, and I hear that, and I think those are people that just need to find something to bitch about. You can't take every shot, and if you look at what Denver did defensively, they were keeping LeBron from being able to take the shot. And, when you hear Rondo afterwards, the inbound pass, Anthony Davis wasn't the number one option. That wasn't where it was designed. I don't know if he was 2, 3, 4, or 9, but he wasn't the number one option. But Rondo with I don't think is getting credit for the bounce pass. With the big guy covering you, for him to be able to deliver a perfect pass for Anthony Davis to get that catch and shoot is pretty incredible. But I don't know why people are bitching. He made the shot.
And LeBron's game has been predicated for his entire career on not just being the only alpha dog, but allowing great players to do great things. And on every team, that has been the kind of the theme with him leading the way, and it continues to be that this year. I just can, if you want to, nitpick about LeBron's game, I guess that's what you're going to have to do. You wonder what Denver's going to have to do tonight to overcome that. They did everything right the other night, but for one play late in the game. It's going to be Jamal Murray again, right? It has to be him because Jokic is capable of dominating the game in so many different ways that they can dominate leading you in scoring. But if the double is coming, then you're going to have to be available. And Jamal was last, and I expect him to be there again. And Michael Porter Jr. again was a threat. He was there in the last game, but I think Jamal's going to have to go get 30, 35 again to get them over the hump. Good news is they're very accustomed to where they are, down in a series.
Well, the one thing they can't do is go down 3-0. I mean, we know they've come back from 3-1. I do think that they're playing with a lot of confidence that even though they lost that game, it took a buzzer beater and a defensive mistake for them to lose. So I think there's some confidence that they can play with the Lakers. Home court is shifted. Not that matters, but they're used to being down in a series, but if you're the Denver Nuggets, I don't think you can go down and expect to win. In fact, if they go down tonight, it's either sweep or gentleman's sweep. they're not coming back from down 3-0. They're
I'm not saying that again, man. You got me twice. Got me twice.
Big difference between 3-1 and 3-0. I mean, I just look at that. I think if they can get over the hump tonight, 2-1, now I think we got ourselves a series. If the Lakers win tonight, especially if the Lakers win convincingly, then it's over.
You just got to figure Jeremy Grant and Monte Morris are going to have those kind of complementary games. Monte coming off the bench, playing a kind of a lead guard position when up against Caruso and the like. Those are the guys that are going to have to win their individual matchups inside that offense. And Jamal's just going to have to carry him tonight and let Jokic just be Jokic. And whatever they take away, he'll give that back to you and whatever it takes to win. It can get done, but you're right, Jace. Down 3-0. It will almost seem just kind of imminent. And the good news is we continue with a great series on the other side. So while it might be a couple of days before we care about what happens in the West, East continues to.
Are they still playing over there in the East? I mean,
I don't know why they took all this time off.
I mean, there's no travel. Honestly, last night, I'm sitting there going between Monday Night Football, hockey, and I even said, Pledge, what channel is the NBA game on? Pledge was at the house, and it's like, where is it? I just assumed it was on, and it wasn't. And they're not playing again until what? A week from Tuesday? I mean, it feels stupid. Why are they having this much time off? Planned time off?
Both those guys, that's the old side. It's funny. The old team, the Lakers, playing every other day. Celtics get some time off, even with Gordon Hayward coming off the bench. They'll get back at it again tomorrow. When we come back, let's talk Dallas Cowboys. Headed towards Seattle and look around the rest of the NFL. Power rankings are out for the first couple of times. Let's also look at winners and losers. Who do you like? And who looks like they're headed in the Trevor sweepstakes? Lots of NFL talk coming your direction. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Man, we're almost to the weekend, and where else could you want to be but Twin Peaks? All three locations wide open and waiting for you. Specials galore and lots of sports on the screens. That's the great thing about Twin Peaks. No matter what location you choose, when you walk in, you are in the biggest man cave in the world. In every direction, the views, well, they're scenic for sure. You look a little high. Their TVs, no matter where you look, a little bit lower. Those scenic views improve significantly this weekend. Stanley Cup Finals are going in full bore. If you're a Stars fan, Tampa Bay fan, either way, go check out Twin Peaks. Boxing's going to go off this week, and Showtime Boxing is on. Catch the pay-per-view doubleheader. You got all kinds of stuff going there. UFC will be fighting this weekend as well. Twin Peaks is stock full. For those of you not comfortable with heading out to eat, well, guess what? Twin Peaks has everything just waiting on you. They got curbside pickup. You can have it delivered. Alcohol to go as well. Just go to twinpeaksrestaurants.com/order online. Search for your favorite Twin Peaks things. They'll bring it right out to your car. But why do you go to Twin Peaks? Well, you head over for that 29-degree cold beer with that big thermometer telling you how cold it is. Celebrate with friends of like mind. Watch the sports of your choice. The Twin Peaks are open and waiting on you. Go down there and enjoy them scenic views.
ESPN San Antonio is your home for the Texas Rangers. Tonight, Rangers, Diamondbacks. 8:10 first pitch, 7:30 pregame. Texas Rangers baseball on ESPN San Antonio is brought to you by GPS of Texas, GPSoftX.com.
It's always smart to shop at Diamonds Direct, but right now it's smarter than ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing and no money down on any purchase. No kidding, it's the best offer ever. Keep your money and finance the entire purchase, even the tax, for 5 years without paying a dime in interest. Get a $10,000 certified diamond for only $168 a month. I'm telling you, this makes fine jewelry more affordable than ever. It's definitely the smart way to buy. On approved credit, details at diamondsdirect.com.
Open this Sunday.
Nobody plans on getting arrested, but it happens. Get out of jail fast by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. Call AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans and are open 24/7. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies in our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kielbasa Smoked Meats, slow crafted in Texas since 1949.
You run a business and you need better wireless. 3 words, no more compromise. With the T-Mobile Business Advantage, you get the largest 5G network, award-winning customer support, and insanely great value. No trade-offs. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch via bill credits. Stop in to find out more. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices coverage and plan details.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For summer DIY projects, you know the Home Depot's always in your corner. Now with our mobile app, it can also be in the palm of your hand. With digital tools like image search, snap a picture of something. It'll recognize it and serve up product suggestions in seconds. And our product locator will check availability and lead you right to it. The Home Depot mobile app. Download it today to get started. Only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
The die-hard batteries you know and trust are now at Advance Auto Parts. That means all the reliability, durability, and power you expect now come with free testing, free installation, and the unrivaled expertise of advanced team members. And you don't even need an appointment. When it's time to hit the road, stop by Advance Auto Parts to start strong with a die-hard battery. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. Make sure you check out Down for the Count. It's your home for all things wrestling. Normally it's every Thursday at 7, but we're going to move it again to Saturday for another special edition of Down for the Count. Make sure you tune in there. Saturday morning hangover going to be off this week as Poochamania 2020 will take over the airwaves and keep us all active there. It'll return for its normal scheduled time a week from Saturday with James Pledger and Jack Thompson. So Cowboys get to head up to Seattle this week. The good news is no fandom. The 12s, they ain't going to be there. It'll be a significantly quieter. And Jerry got a taste of what it's like to have some fans in there and certainly understands the value of not having fans up there in Seattle. So that is indeed one thing to look forward to. It could have been a lot worse, but the fact remains, Jason, there's a lot of trouble with the Dallas Cowboys as they head to Seattle despite the miracle win. Defensive line looks worse, looks kind of banged up. My question to you, in the scope of worrisome things, what bothers you more? Is it Tyron Smith and the stingers and the late scratch that we saw last week? Or is it a defensive line that took 3 quarters to get to Matt Ryan, even though we knew Matt Ryan was going to be throwing the ball?
Well, quite honestly, it's Tyron Smith. You know, they won, and Dak put up incredible numbers with basically 2 starters in the top backup out. I mean, the offensive line is in shambles. And if you listen to Jerry Jones today on 105.3 The Fan, sitting Tyron last week, maybe he could have played, but that was, big picture view. But then again, he's not for certain right now that Tyron's going to be available to play against Seattle.
He didn't play last week in part because we made preparations for the future.
Huh?
And it wasn't impossible to have had him out there last week had we done a couple of things differently. But by design, we didn't do it that way. We wanted to look to the long term, or the longer term being the next games, the ones we're getting ready to play. So I feel as good as you can feel. I don't know. And nobody knows right now until we get out there and see how he's operating during the week here at practice.
All right, that's Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan. I know Jerry Jones is a master salesman. He has blown this pitch on Tyron Smith. I mean, first he says, you know, we rested him just to make sure he was good for next week, looking at the big picture. But we could have played if we would have done things differently. Well, what differently things could you have done? You know, you only get 16 of these in a season, and you lost your first one. Can you really afford to not play one of your best players and the guy that's protecting your franchise quarterback? Can we really roll the dice on here? But I'm sort of feeling good, but I don't know about this week. You're a salesman, Jerry. You didn't sell me on anything there except more worry.
You know, the fact that there was a meeting with Ron Leary and evidently, I don't know if it was financials, but the deal didn't happen. I don't know if I take that for the Cowboys feeling, well, I'm not going to spend too much money because we are confident that Tyron will be back in the short term and be available for the long term. But it is of concern, Tyron Smith. You look at that, but then you look at the defensive line, Jason. They're 23rd in the 32 team league in pass rush grades so far, according to Pro Football Focus. Only 23 pressures and 2 sacks in the first 2 games. And if you can't get to Matt Ryan or Jared Goff, finding Russell Wilson back there is going to be even more difficult come up on Friday afternoon.
I mean, at that point, you hope that Russell Wilson becomes a bug in a windshield and runs right into somebody. You know, and I look at those numbers from Pro Football Focus, and I do think you got to take them with a grain of salt because against the Rams, Jared Goff got rid of the ball so quick, there's no defensive line that would have been able to get to him and get some pressure. So you're taking 2 games worth of throws. But really, Matt Ryan did have way too much time, and I didn't think Atlanta's offensive line was that good until I went and looked at Pro Football Focus's grades, and yeah, they're up there. Not the best, but you know they're not the worst. But I really did expect more, and I think some of that is just DeMarcus Lawrence. At some point, man, you got paid. You've got to deliver. And, you know, you can tell me scheme is different, but last year he didn't have the sack numbers either. Robert Quinn ended up with them.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, D-Law, you got paid. You got to deliver on sacks. You got to be noticeable in some of these games. And I'm going to put the same pressure on DeMarcus Lawrence as we have put on J.J. Watt. I mean, how many times have you watched a Texans game and gone quarters and went, J.J. Watt playing? I haven't heard his name, or he hasn't been flashing. And part of that is the attention he gets. And I totally understand that. But at some point, make a big play. And DeMarcus Lawrence hasn't done that since he got paid.
It's going to be a difficult proposition, even if fully healthy, with everybody involved with Russell Wilson. We'll continue talking Cowboys, but let's look around the rest of the NFL when we get back. Saints and Raiders last night. Is Drew Brees cooked, or is it just all Michael Thomas's absence there? That was a crazy game to watch, and we'll also look at that brand new pretty stadium, talk about what we saw there. Powerful teams, those in the toilet. We'll look all around. The NFL coming up next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. This morning with no painful injuries at all. That's good news. When you get to about my age, that's not always common. If you deal with everyday pains, like those sprains and strains that seem to pop up at the worst possible times, call my friends over to Rossi. They're experts in fixing that kind of stuff. See, chronic pain issues occur for a lot of different reasons, and your body can manipulate it to get them all taken care of. See, a Rossi, it's not an invasive procedure. We're not talking about surgery, and certainly not some kind of long-term treatment program or over-the-counter or prescribed medications. It's your body fixing itself, manipulating itself to get the pain gone, quite frankly. And sometimes the pain manifests in places where the actual injury does not occur. And that's why Arasti is so valuable in my life. So when you go to an Arasti provider, you get a full evaluation. They find out exactly what the problem is. They fix the problem. And guess what? the pain goes away. Not a long-term treatment plan. In fact, studies have been had by Arasti over the years, and they found that on average, under 4 visits is the answer to getting yourself back in the game. When you go to an Arasti provider, one, you can go ahead and make that call. You're not going to need a referral to see an Arasti provider, and they certainly do accept most insurances. Now, to find your provider, it's awfully easy. You can go to their website, arasti.com, and you'll find that there's Arasti providers all around San Antonio. One within, I bet, 10 minutes of you right now, or you can make the call. Here's the number, 1-800-404-6050. 1-800-404-6050. They've got a great telehealth program going on. They're following all the protocols to make sure you can get yourself back in the game. Make that call. Do not let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Make that call to Arasti. I know for sure you will thank me later.
Dallas Cowboys football is on ESPN San Antonio and 102.7 Jack FM. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, Alamo Water Softeners, Ewald Kubota, The Root Pub, and The Angry Elephant. This week, the Cowboys head to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Kickoff is set for 3:25 Sunday.
Hey everyone, with today's Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. Dak Prescott tells you why Sunday's dramatic comeback was about so much more than the first W of the season. You'll hear from the quarterback after this.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are.
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Whether you're getting ready to purchase a home, setting up a college fund for your kids, or preparing for retirement, you're working hard to live a life you love. And you deserve peace of mind knowing your home, loved ones, and future are protected. At SWBC, we can help you assess your personal situation and create a customized solution to make sure you're prepared for whatever life throws your way. Visit SWBC.com to learn about your mortgage, insurance, and wealth management options today. That's SWBC.com.
In rallying the Cowboys to a 40-39 win over the Falcons Sunday, Dak Prescott and the offense rolled up 570 total yards, overcame an awful start that included 3 lost fumbles, and for the first time in team history, responded to a 20-0 deficit to come back for a win. That never say die attitude is why Dak says Sunday meant so much more than just the first win of the season.
Yeah, this is huge. Coach McCarthy said it at halftime. The final score didn't matter as much as finding out the type of men that we have, the type of fight that we have within this team. But after we put ourselves in such a big hole in the first quarter, to stay at it and everybody believes in each other, that was huge.
This coming Sunday, the team will need that confidence as they travel to Seattle to take on Russell Wilson and the undefeated Seahawks. That's today's Cowboys Report. I'm Christy Scales.
Do you have a retirement plan? No matter your age or how close you are, you need a plan to make sure you don't run out of money. Hi, this is Daryl Lyons from Pax Financial Group. We have the experience and tools to crunch your retirement numbers and get the answers you need. If you have a plan, let us double check your numbers. Call us at 210-881-5700. That's 210-881-5700 or online at paxfinancialgroup.com.
Investment advisory and insurance services are offered by Pax Financial Group.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. A BSG system is as low as $29.99 a month, and that includes a smart home LCD panel, installation, and monitoring. And you can get the first 6 months with no payments on select packages. Go to bsgtexas.com/radio for more information. bsgtexas.com/radio. BSG is local. They've been in business in San Antonio over 20 years. Call 210-877-1222.
Tune in to the Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it will affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics, 210-804-5555.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at your local automotive retailer.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference.
like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. In fighting Texas Aggies, they're coming back playing football this weekend. Vanderbilt, you can catch that on KTSA this Saturday. Catch Jimbo tomorrow night. Coach Jimbo show every week right here on ESPN San Antonio. Brought to you by Airtron Heating and AC, Ewald Kubota Tractors, the Roo Pub, and Angry Elephant. Tomorrow night, we will have Jimbo's first show. Get you going right after the Rangers game. Have it broadcast live right here on ESPN, or tape delayed here on ESPN San Antonio. Last night we got our first taste of Monday Night Football back on ABC. The Yellow Jackets were in play in a brand new stadium there in Las Vegas as the Las Vegas Raiders premiered in against a New Orleans Saints team without Michael Thomas. And, man, his absence threw a kink in that offense. Drew Brees looked utterly lost, man. The narrative about that bad arm is going to continue, though. It just looked like an offense without Michael Thomas. I just could not stretch the field vertically, even though Kamara played fantastically well, I thought.
He did. And before we get into Drew Brees and his issues, am I the only one that was looking at all those stadium shots thinking, that could be right here in San Antonio? I mean, Mark Davis was looking at San Antonio, played us a little bit. Pledge, you can shake your head no all you want, but I mean, he at least swiped right and, had a first date with the mayor, and there was some discussion there, although I think I'd puke every time I saw that torch as I was driving up I-35, if that's where it ended up. But am I the only one that was thinking that, watching the game, that thing could be here?
I think, to think that if we were in competition with Las Vegas, that we would have even the remotest prayer, I think is crazy. But at the time, I don't think Las Vegas was in play. There were still, the gambling ideas, while kind of melting. There was a warming of the idea of gambling at the time. But now, if we were ever in comp with Vegas to lure a football team, looking at its placement, looking at the possibilities, man, you just wonder why it took so long to get there, because I cannot wait to go to Las Vegas and go see the Dallas Cowboys play a football game on a Sunday after a weekend of pre-gaming for that game. It's going to be amazing, and that's what it's going to be like. As soon as they open the floodgates into that stadium, it's going to be an atmosphere like I can't even imagine what it's going to be like.
It's going to be insane. The stadium looks ridiculous. And as much as I think I don't like the guy, for Mark Davis, who apparently has only missed one game since 1963, for him to say, if the fans can't go, I can't go.
Yeah,
my respect level for him went up tremendously. And for him to miss a game like what he saw last night, and I don't know what you guys think of the Monday Night Football crew, because they had the late game week one, so I don't know how many people really stuck around for that thing. I thought they did a pretty good job. I like the crew, and they told you last night during the broadcast that the Raiders defensive coordinator went back and looked at film from 2014 when he was with the Bengals on how they beat the Saints, and looked at that film and went, and coach, you're not working enough. Apparently, you got too much time on your hands, but it worked. Because I think the Raiders' plan last night had as much to do with the Saints' issues in the passing game as the absence of Michael Thomas.
I completely agree. Now, what are your thoughts on Brees' arm? Is it shot? Is it legitimately one of those things that now defensive coordinators are scheming to the idea that 15 yards further, I don't need to worry about it?
It is interesting because it was there last year. And he didn't throw deep passes last year. I don't know that he can anymore. But, he still has a dart when it comes to the underneath stuff, and that's really what their offense is. But you don't have to cover deep. Drew Brees isn't going to throw a 35-yard pass. I don't know that he can anymore, and certainly not with consistency. If you look at last week's game, you look at this week's game, even you look at some of the games last year, that is a part. Their offense is handcuffed by his limitations. It really is.
Alvin Kamara put on an exhibition there for a couple of quarters. He is as pretty a runner in open field as there is in the NFL. He could have saved them last night. That's the other part of this. I don't think the Saints are – it felt like the Raiders beat them up. It felt like the Raiders and Gruden came in with the idea, like, we're going to punch these guys in the face. They're kind of a finesse team. I didn't believe that before. I still don't believe it now, but it looked like the Raiders came in with the intent, we're going to hit these guys. We're going to hit them all game long, and it did wear on them. You could tell that by the end, the Raiders had kind of achieved a dominance. They kind of owned it.
Well, and you look at, really on both sides of the ball. I think you got to give Derek Carr some credit. And give John Gruden credit because he knows exactly what he has in Derek Carr, and he drives it like that. He knows he's got a nice high-end sports car, but it ain't a Ferrari. You can't treat it like one. I thought Derek Carr played a fantastic game last night, 28-38. But at the same time, you talk about a dead arm with Drew Brees. As I pull up the stats from last night's game, I don't know how dead your arm is if you're throwing it 38 times in a game.
I agree. It's the downfield stuff. It's just not there.
And is it almost a good comparison to, a pitcher who, has had to come up with a good changeup and a good slider because his fastball just ain't there anymore.
Over the weekend, we saw Kansas City have to fight to beat the Chargers. 3 consecutive 50-plus yard kicks. Finally, one counts, but it's the one that mattered. They take the win. Baltimore just scrubs the floor with the Texans. Baltimore the best team in football, or is it still the Chiefs?
It's still the Chiefs until they lose.
Trends. Who looked in your eye? Who looked better over the weekend?
Kansas City. They struggled and gutted one out. I didn't think Baltimore looked all that impressive against the Houston Texans. The Texans have the ability to make both teams look like you're watching paint dry. True. And that is what they did. In my mind, and I hate to say this because it's who the Cowboys play this week, I think the Seattle Seahawks are the best team in football. In the Minix Power Rankings, which didn't exist until just now, the MPI has the Seattle Seahawks as number 1.
Certainly the most in the groove quarterback, apart from Aaron Rodgers, who
I was going to say because Green Bay would be my number 2. Then I'd probably have Baltimore and Kansas City.
Because Aaron has certainly been on this victory tour, we say that. The running back situation with the Packers I found interesting because with LaFleur taking things over, the idea was, they're going to try to take something off of Aaron Rodgers' plate, that he didn't have to do everything. The Doug Peterson plan to kind of save Wentz, the same thing. You don't have to make every play. We're going to give you a running back to do so. And Aaron's making even more plays despite the fact that he's finally got a running back behind him that LaFleur is using that is capable of the big play on his own, where Aaron can take some time off. And that's made that offense just remarkable considering the early season. The numbers and the yards for 2 games is up there in the all-time levels for what Green Bay's done after 2. So those are the upper squads, right? We don't think that's the kind of the cutoff point. Is it Green Bay right there as we're looking, and then it's all the others that are just there's a problem here or there that they're going to try to overcome?
On my flight home last week from Seattle, the only game offered to me on Southwest Airlines free television was the Buffalo Bills New York Jets team. And, listening to Greeny, I was starting to buy in on the Jets, but they suck. Out of 32 NFL teams, they're number 35. They are that bad. But I'll tell you what, Buffalo is really good. As in my mental MPI, I would have Buffalo probably 6 or 7. I like their quarterback, although Dan Orlovsky said he was an MVP after the first 2 weeks. I don't know that I agree with that. But the way they use them, I think New England is far better than what we thought they were going to be with Cam Newton. And you consider all the guys that opted out of that team. What they have, 6 defensive starters that opted out. New England looks really good. We talked about Kansas City and Baltimore. Not sure what to make of the Chargers. I don't know what to think of the Saints right now because, of what we saw last night. Tennessee is sitting there at 2-0, and you talk about a team that's just going to beat you up. You might have to include San Francisco, but they're all beat up. I don't know that they're going to be able to hang on.
Of the 0-2ers. Well, Arizona's certainly the surprise. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, when you look at what Buffalo did, you look at what Arizona did, let's get some quality wins. Let's see you play somebody that's got quality. You've certainly proved that you can beat the teams that are equal or lesser. Let's see if you can match up with some more talent. I think Buffalo and the Cardinals both fall into that. The 0-2 teams, of those, let's say, who would you rather put some money on to turn things around? Is it the Vikings or the Texans? Certainly
Texans.
a lot more expected from both. So you think the Texans have a better opportunity to turn things around?
Well, the Texans started off with 2 of the best teams in football. And then they've got Pittsburgh coming up. I fully expect the Houston Texans to turn things around as some of the 0-2 teams as let's see, Atlanta probably. When you look at a team that's 0-2, Carolina 0-2, I don't know if they're going to be able to get it together. Who else is 0-2? The Giants and Eagles, they both suck. Denver sucks.
They lost their quarterback for a while, Matty, down for a bit.
Cincinnati is an 0-2 team, and I don't know how many wins they're going to get, but Joe Burrow is legit. I'm a buyer in Joe Burrow. They should be 2-0, but they're not. They're 0-2 because they're the Bengals. And I'm not buying on Miami or the Jets. So what was your question? Of the 0-2 teams, the team I like the best to turn it around would be the Houston Texans.
Certainly the most likely one, given who they've played. But even though they've played 2 very good teams, they just haven't looked very good at all. There's no consistency there. And again, might be a product of those defenses. But
I don't know that I'll ever get over getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins. And I understand all the monetary reasons why he had to do what he had to do. But I still watch this team. And while they got a new guy calling plays, it still feels like Bill O'Brien is calling every plays and keeps a handcuff on Deshaun Watson. He doesn't have the freedoms in that offense that, say, Lamar or Patrick have in their offenses. He doesn't have the freedoms that Allen has up there in the Buffalo offense. And there's just something about Deshaun Watson, it's like they won't unleash him to do the things that we've seen him do when it's desperate improvisation type of plays. I just feel like they're holding him back. And that's on Bill O'Brien.
You brought up Philadelphia and Carson Wentz. A lot of talk about the regression of Carson Wentz. Is Jalen Hurts legitimately going to be an option during this season, or are we just making too much out of nothing because there is no offensive line there and he's having to run for his life?
If this was only a 2-game sample with Carson seeming to have regressed, maybe. It's interesting. Doug Peterson was asked on his radio show up there in Philadelphia, why is Carson Wentz regressing? And his answer isn't trying to defend his quarterback, which is a bit surprising.
It's a good question. For us, it's a matter of continuing to work, I think as coaches and players, we continue to strive to get better every single day. I just don't want Carson to feel like he has to make all the plays every single time. I just want him to just be Carson.
Coach, how come your quarterback is regressing? Well, I don't think that he is. I mean, do you see him do this and he do that? Yeah, I mean, we got some things to work on. Yeah, it's a good question. I wish I knew the damn answer.
I appreciate a coach with a true statement because he is. And, Wentz's biggest cheerleader in all of the media is Orlovsky. Dan Orlovsky loves him some Carson Wentz and has said on many occasions how much he appreciates his game. This morning, even Orlovsky had to bring out the tape and show some of Wentz's regression on where his footwork, his play calling, or his mobility, a lot of issues that just go down to basic technique that you got to have fixed first before you can be an accurate passer and do what we've seen him do before. That is a story that's going to continue until that offensive line gets healthy, and maybe it's worth waiting until the line gets healthy or plugged in. Maybe Hurts is worth the effort just to see what could happen.
Well, I mean, at some point, if you're Doug Peterson, do you say, you know what? We paid you. We paid you early. We were wrong. And Doug Peterson certainly seems like the kind of coach that is say, yep, I mean, we developed to a point where we couldn't develop anymore. We hit the ceiling. Now we've got to move on. In some ways it's what Tampa Bay did with Jameis Winston, now granted they were getting a Tom Brady, but they knew that he was not going to be the long-term answer. I think the Eagles thought he was, but he was always injured. But at this point, you kind of know what you have with Carson Wentz. And when your coach doesn't defend you on a question like that, that's surprising. That really, while I appreciate the honesty, the writing is certainly on the wall.
The Eagles have some issues. He's thrown 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They opened the season, scored 17 consecutive points. Since then, have been outscored 64-19. Something went wrong at halftime against the Redskins. Hey, when we get back, hey, don't forget it's a Tuesday afternoon, and our injury update is chock full of injuries to discuss as the bug has bitten the NFL. Lots of injuries to discuss, and we're going to do it just a little bit after 6 o'clock as we speak. I couldn't find his name. I'm sorry. Dr. David Espinoza. We love when Doctor comes on. Real fan will be joining us at 6 o'clock. When we come back, Deion Sanders is the new head football coach at Jackson State University, and what a presentation we saw yesterday. Jason and I have a theory as to why it was so spectacular. We'll talk about it next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you need your logo on gear, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club on San Pedro. Sam has the surgical medical mask KN95s, disposable surgical masks that are certified and FDA approved. Sam has cloth masks in a variety of colors and sizes. And if you need your logo on the mask, of course Sammy will do it. It's what he does. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, get your logo on your mask. You can get your logo on shirts, jackets, caps. In fact, Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from: medical, restaurant, service industry, construction. If you're back in the office, you want that good professional look, call Sammy's Embroidery Club. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas that offers one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. You need one shirt, you need 10,000 shirts. Sam will get it done for you. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or better yet, get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro. It's a mile inside Loop 410 next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items do come with a warranty, and you work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now, 210-824-3900, 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Scenic Views, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Every Friday on the Blitz, tune in as we get you ready for the sports weekend. What's on? Big games, intriguing matchups, how to watch them, and more. Scenic Views by Twin Peaks, every Friday on the Blitz.
Northeast Independent School District is now hiring and training school bus drivers. Whether you're looking for a new job, you're a retiree, or you're retired military, come help drive students to succeed and apply at Northeast ISD Transportation today. No experience is necessary, and you will get paid while earning your CDL and learning how to drive a school bus.
The Northeast ISD Transportation Department is ranked as one of the top 100 school bus fleets in America.
And our drivers receive exceptional pay and benefits, including health, dental, vision, and retirement.
If you're looking for work, if you're retired from the military, or you simply want to make a difference in our community, apply now with the Northeast ISD Transportation Department.
Join our team and discover Northeast ISD by calling 210-356-9229. That's 210-356-9229. Or you can text Drive Bus to 797979. That's text Drive Bus to 797979.
Did you know a fire department responds to a fire every 24 seconds? First Alert is reminding you to be ready for the unexpected by installing smoke and carbon monoxide alarms on every level and in every bedroom of your home. Don't forget to add First Alert fire extinguishers on every level and in common spaces like the kitchen, especially if you're cooking more, and know how to use them. Protect your whole home with reliable protection you can trust by visiting firstalert.com and Lowe's stores today.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for the previews to start in a movie theater.
Hey, you want anything? Popcorn? Soda? No, nothing?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Picking up an online order? No problem. It'll just be a moment. You know, we've got more convenient ways to shop besides our same-day store pickup. You can also shop from your car with our free curbside pickup. Or you can even shop completely from home with our free next-day delivery. Just order by 10 p.m. on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Free next-day delivery on eligible orders. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pleasure producing us till 7 o'clock. The Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. If you've been injured in a car, truck, commercial vehicle, or motorcycle collision, do not wait. Call Jason Thompson immediately. The insurance companies already have their attorneys and are preparing their case against you. Let Jason Thompson go to work for you immediately. Free consultations. He can come to you. Here's the number, 210-900-0400. His website, alawyer4us.com. Jackson State announced earlier in the week that they have hired a brand new head coach. The historically black university has brought in Deion Sanders with great pomp and circumstances. The unveiling of Deion was, let's just say it was like the beginning of a wrestling event. This dude showed up with limos and pomp and circumstance. And Jason, why would you show up with limos, pomp and circumstances, the likes of which Deion Sanders did?
Well, you're
at
a
small
time. Right. I mean, you had the band, you had police escorts, you had it all. I get the feeling that, you know, a small college like what you have there at Jackson State probably doesn't have the budget for that. And I wondered how they were going to have the budget for even a Deion Sanders. Because Deion's about the brand, and you know he's been on TV coaching up there, private school, and here's a guy that's just wanted to coach, and he is a coach. And you know there's some stories out there today about who might be on his staff, although Primetime refutes that because probably contracts haven't been signed yet. But what I saw yesterday looked like it was a TV show, and you know what if this whole thing for Prime is for a Netflix series or an Amazon Prime series? You know, you're coaching with Prime. I mean, you know, we're going to see him recruit. We're going to get to know him. I mean, he recently left NFL Network to go work for Barstool. Apparently, he's going to leave that now. But it looked like a TV show to me. And you look at the fame that Last Chance You got. Why not have Prime on a TV series? I mean, they were following him around at Trinity up there in Dallas. That was a TV show.
A couple of things make me think this. First of all, Jackson State's a pretty big school. It's one of the bigger historically black universities there in Jackson, Mississippi, but they certainly don't have the money to pay Deion Sanders. And there was a release of the origins we're not sure of, but certainly names mentioned the likes of T.O. being like a wide receivers coach, Russell Maryland. Who are the other ones involved in this?
You had a
host of Warren Sapp, that was the other one. So a host of former NFL luminaries coming in. Well, there's no way Jackson State could afford that. And while some of these guys might be willing to coach for free, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, if you were going to pay them, the best way to do that would be through TV money and the broadcast rights to this Last Chance You or HBU, whatever you want to call it, with Prime Time being the head coach. It just seems like a natural. And what I see in this is the progression of college sports, because the very idea of having a camera in and televising a major college, not junior college like Last Chance U, which is the Wild West for the most part. We're talking about, at least by the loosest of sanctions and governing bodies that like the HBUs are in, there are rules that used to be followed that you just could not do with what they're planning on doing. And money is going to be transcribed for the broadcast rights. And who's to say players, if there is a TV show, shouldn't I get a cut of that too? So I think we're seeing modern college sports being embodied at an HBU with primetime stepping on campus there at Jackson State. If in fact our theory is true that there's a TV show behind this.
Well, I think about like Friday Night Tykes, the success there. You look at Last Chance U. One of the things that we learned, from Mike Gundy is, when he was wearing that shirt and all the stuff went down, there was a film crew following Oklahoma State around. We've seen different crews following certain teams. When Trinity Christian was on national TV for that first game, we learned that there was camera crews following that team around. It does make sense that if it's prime, that there is a TV show involved. Now, whether he's making a lot of money on that or just trying to get exposure, I appreciate that Dion, who, let's face it, doesn't have to work. He loves coaching. And for him to go live in Mississippi to coach that team, it ain't Florida State. Remember, there was rumors that he would be the Florida State coach when that job was open. He turned it down. I give him credit. I don't know if he's doing it for the money, but I got to believe that there is a behind-the-scenes TV show in the works here or already done, and that's a part of this deal.
They better be, because if, in fact, this leaked coaching list is true with Dennis Thurman as defensive, Mario Edwards as defensive backs coach, ISU holdovers, TC Taylor, Otis Ridley, lots of names mentioned, though, that has been thrown out there. But if that's the case, that'll be fun. But congratulations. It's a good move. Publicity to a university that normally doesn't get that. Hopefully wins will follow with Dion there. When we get back, when Dr. Espinoza will join us for the ESPN San Antonio injury update, the NFL injury bug bit over the weekend. We'll look at all the surgeries that are imminent for some stars. Coming up next, you're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
At Dos Equis, we realize you've missed celebrating quite a few holidays this year. That's why we're proposing a makeup holiday. St. Patrick de Mayo of Independence Day. Sounds very festive. Dos Equis, the most interesting beer. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Copyright 2020.
Everybody's taking advantage of Diamonds Direct's 5-year zero-interest financing offer. In fact, our store hours have been extended to include this Sunday to accommodate the demand. But hurry, this offer ends September 30th. Pick any item. Get the Diamonds Direct amazing value price. Make no down payment and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Whether your purchase is $3,000 or $30,000, you can do this. 5 years, zero interest on approved credit. And remember, we'll be open this Sunday afternoon for your convenience. Get details and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
My name is Rochelle, a registered nurse for the past 25 years. I've struggled with back pain for many years and started exercising because I really wanted to feel better. I was eating right, but no matter what I did, I couldn't lose weight. My friends would lose weight, my husband would lose weight, but I was gaining weight. I was stuck and I was frustrated. I was doing everything right, but nothing changed. I felt tired and stressed at work. A friend told me about Dr. Torres and the Institute for Functional Health. After some testing, Dr. Torres uncovered that I had Hashimoto's autoimmune disease, which explained why I could not lose weight. I began his program and saw immediate results. I've now lost 25 pounds. My cholesterol dropped from 240 to 180 instantly. I sleep soundly and I've had more energy than I've had in years. Dr. Torres changed my life.
We can visit with you over the phone and virtually. We work with your insurance company and it costs you nothing to call and consult with us. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for a free consultation over the phone, 468-1891, 468-1891.
What do you want to da-da-da? What do you want to da-da-da? I have no idea what to da-da-da. We could switch to Progressive da. Oh yeah? We could switch to Progressive and sa. Okay. We could sa and have to buy some za. Oh yeah, let's switch to Progressive da and get some za with the money we saw. Yeah! Now we know we're gonna da-da-da.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. It might just be the most normal thing you da-da-da.
Quote da at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's time for some straight talk.
You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
For everything Cowboys.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM, where the pros play. KCTC San Antonio. Jason Minutes, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. No preseason, 2 games into the NFL. Injury bugs have bitten all over the NFL. It's time for our injury update. We do it every week. This week, we'd like to welcome aboard Dr. David Espinoza. He of the Sports Institute over at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinoza, welcome aboard. How's your day?
Doing all right. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. Before we get into all the football injuries, Justin Verlander's got to go get himself some Tommy John surgery. When he first hurt his elbow, it was reported he needed Tommy John. He said no. Whatever beat writer that was down in Houston certainly seemed to be right. Did he do more damage by trying to put it off and work through it to get the decision that he's got to shut it down and get Tommy John? Or did he do it the right way, considering he's still going to have Tommy John, so he couldn't have hurt it any further by trying to come back this year?
Yeah, it's very possible. It kind of depends on the extent of the damage to the ligament. So Tommy John surgery is to repair a damaged ulnar collateral ligament, which is on the inside part of your elbow. And with pitchers, and especially when they're getting that torque on that ball to every pitch, and they're doing that 100 times an outing and everything, it puts a lot of stress and strain on that ligament, and so it kind of depends on the extent of the damage to it. So if it was 100% completely gone, then yeah, he probably would have gone to Tommy John surgery immediately. But if it was one of these partial tears, then that might be why he tried to see how it responded to bracing and therapy, and then working on mechanics and everything. So unfortunately, it sounds like it didn't pan out.
Dr. David, your connection is a little off. You sound like Bane, quite frankly.
I know.
Joining us here on ESPN.
That ligament sounds about as bad as that phone connection.
But real quickly, Dr. Espinoza, what is the difference in rehab time from a partially torn tendon to a fully severed one?
So with the fully severed, you're typically not even going to try the rehab. You're probably just going to go into surgery, especially with a high-end athlete. But recovery, you're looking at shutting it down at least 6 weeks, no throwing, and then following that up with another 4 to 6 week incremental throwing program. Again, focusing on mechanics and the entire throwing motion to make sure there's no weak link in the chain, basically. So,
Dr. David Espinoza joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. It's for our injury update. He of the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. All right, let's talk running back. Saquon Barkley, ACL down for the rest of the season. Second year back going down this early. Certainly lots of time to get back. On the grand scheme of things, when you've seen what he did with his ACL, is this going to, there's no such thing as a run of the mill, but is the expectation is he'll go through the rehab and be ready to go next season?
That's the expectation. And it turns out he actually also injured the medial meniscus and MCL, the medial collateral ligament on the knee as well. And so, that'll delay his surgery just a little bit until the MCL calms down a bit as far as swelling and inflammation. But either way, with the ACL, that's going to be the biggest part to recover, and so he should be back next year for sure. But obviously that first year back from an ACL, you're kind of still kind of getting your bearings as far as your normal throwing or normal running pattern, right? And then there's also the consideration of the mental aspect. When you undergo a big injury like that, a big part of it is having the confidence to cut and twist and juke and do everything you want to do without, a second thought. So that'll be another component of his recovery.
Real quickly, the New York Rags around New York are talking about, the Giants themselves having to rebuild and Saquon being a valuable piece. With him going down, there's some discussion up there, especially on the Post, I believe, about trading Saquon. If you were a team physician and the Giants approached you knowing full well the ACL, the MCL, the injuries like that, what would your thoughts be about taking Saquon on and your comfort level on a full recovery?
I would definitely keep him if I am a New York Giant. His talent is he is phenomenal. I totally anticipate that he would come back and, probably even better than he was, because he has the whole year to rest his body, especially for a running back. They tend to have a shorter shelf life in the NFL just from all the hits they take. And with his running style, this actually will, kind of help his whole body recover a little bit, right? And again, I think he's going to be just fine. If they trade him, then they have a lot of other issues going on.
Well, they'd become the Jets if they were to do that. But I mean, and you talk about Saquon's running style. I also look at his body type and compare what he is to Adrian Peterson, and we certainly know Peterson was able to overcome some pretty significant knee injuries and surgeries, and not seem to miss a beat because of that thick body type that he has to go along with the running style. Now, Doc, as you look around and, the San Francisco 49ers, you're cutting ACL, you tear an ACL, you're going to sprain your MCL. I mean, they got a ton of injuries, and they're blaming the turf. They're at MetLife Stadium. Could it be something with the turf, or how much of all these early season injuries, the rash of injuries we saw in week 2, could just be a byproduct of no preseason games and a limited training camp?
Absolutely. My money would definitely be on the fact that there was no preseason, limited training camp, and then you're asking these high-end athletes to go out there 100% full throttle right away. And then, I know we had talked about on previous, discussions is that, especially for these high-end athletes, they need at least a good 6 to 8 week, regimen of really ramping up, and they try to do it what they can at home and, in their backyards and socially distanced and all that, but it's just not the same, when you got a 250, 300-pound defensive lineman coming at you and you're trying to juke and break tackles and all this, it's just a different level of competition. And so I think that's the biggest reason that we're seeing so many injuries, and these guys are used to slowly ramping up, maybe playing a quarter and then 2 quarters in the second preseason game, and then, third preseason, maybe doing 3 quarters of the game and so forth. So I think that's the biggest issue.
When we look at running back injuries, we talked Saquon. Now let's look at Christian McCaffrey. Now, this is an ankle injury. If you were one of those a fantasy football league, non-PPR, PPR, you draft McCaffrey first, you see down for weeks at the minimum. Is this something, knowing that this ankle thing, it takes weeks and weeks and weeks even to come back to 80%? Is it, for all intents purposes, do we expect to see, even when he returns, his production to come down, because this is going to take a long time to heal?
So the high ankle injuries are very annoying is the word I tend to describe them as. So it is an injury to the anterior inferior tibiofibular ligament. So a ligament that gives a lot of support on top of the ankle joint itself. And so when you injure that, a lot of players, they feel that they didn't break anything, so they can still put pressure on it. They can still difficult part is convincing an athlete to let it heal the right way, because usually after 2 or 3 weeks, they start feeling pretty good. And then they want to go back out there and then, they twist a certain way, then they come back out, have a setback, and then they kind of play that game, unfortunately for potentially even more time. But usually with a high ankle, you're looking at least 4 to 6 weeks, and that's with letting it really heal. So it's, the big crucial part is just not coming back too early.
And you think about high ankle sprains in the positions, and you think about Christian McCaffrey as a running back and everything that he does. Jimmy Garoppolo with the 49ers is going to miss, they say, a couple of weeks with a high ankle sprain. Is it more likely that a guy like Garoppolo, a quarterback, can come back faster than McCaffrey just because the different positions and, the ways that the San Francisco 49ers can hide, if you will, the high ankle sprain that Jimmy G's dealing with?
Absolutely. Jimmy G, great quarterback, great what he's doing, but he's no Deshaun Watson. He's not doing what Lamar Jackson's doing with cutting, twisting, spin moves and all that. So, for him, as long as he's able to, kind of get back and make the handoffs and plant off that ankle and make his throws, then he should be able to get back a little bit sooner, I'd imagine, than a position such as running back or wide receiver, for that matter.
He is Dr. David Espinoza. This has been the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update. It's always powered by the Sports Institute over at TSAOG Orthopedics. Anything snap, crackle, or pop, there's one number to call. That's 210-804-5555. Dr. Espinoza, thanks so much for your time today. Great insight.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great one.
Take care. Dr. Espinoza joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. When we get back, Dallas Cowboys headed up to Seattle. The Houston Texans licking their wounds. Looking forward to this week's game. What are the Cowboys going to bring to Seattle? Is there a defense there to stop what looks to be the best quarterback and possibly the best team in football? We'll talk Cowboys, then we'll look around the rest of the NFL and talk Cowboys pants. Yes, it's that time of the season. Seafoam blue, seafoam green. Are the Cowboys pants changing colors? Are they different from last year? So many questions to have answered. And strangely enough, we have the answers. We'll talk about the Cowboys pants as well. Hang around. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you're having issues with your plumbing, your heating, your AC, there is one company to call, and that is Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899. At Quarter Moon, they're a full-service company, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quarter Moon, they do not have commissioned sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899 is the number. 651-5899 or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
Catch Texas Rangers baseball as they sprint to the finish of a shortened 60-game season. Texas Rangers baseball on ESPN San Antonio is brought to you by GPS of Texas. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies in our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow crafted in Texas since 1949.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This football season, prepare your taste buds for the most iconic sports watching drink of all time, Pepsi. With refreshing deliciousness specially formulated to keep your eye on the ball and mouth-watering fizziness to help you power through game day, Pepsi has everything you need to start strong.
I used to care when Mike cheered so hard he spilled nacho cheese on my carpet, but thanks to Pepsi, even Mike can't ruin my football party.
So this football season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink made for football watching. Pepsi, that's what I like.
Did you know a fire department responds to a fire every 24 seconds? First Alert is reminding you to be ready for the unexpected by installing smoke and carbon monoxide alarms on every level and in every bedroom of your home. Don't forget to add First Alert fire extinguishers on every level and in common spaces like the kitchen, especially if you're cooking more, and know how to use them. Protect your whole home with reliable protection you can trust by visiting firstalert.com and Lowe's stores today.
Everybody's taking advantage of Diamonds Direct's 5-year zero-interest financing offer. In fact, our store hours have been extended to include this Sunday to accommodate the demand. But hurry, this offer ends September 30th. Pick any item, get the Diamonds Direct amazing value price, make no down payment, and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Whether your purchase is $3,000 or $30,000, you can do this. 5 years, zero interest on approved credit. And remember, we'll be open this Sunday afternoon for your convenience. Get details and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Third floor study hall. My dining room table. Homeroom Monday and Tuesday. My living room Wednesday to Friday.
Wherever school happens for you this year, Staples has amazing prices on everything your student needs. This week, get 20% off copies and prints for school. That's 20% off posters, worksheets, schedules, and reports. Shop in-store or pick up curbside. School on, save on. Staples. Visit staples.com/school printing for coupon. In-store only. Exclusions apply. Ends 10/31. Curbside available in most stores.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Let's get wild.
It's the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. I just had an update. We're going to talk some Dallas Cowboys. Tropical Storm Beta. Do you guys find that disconcerting? Why don't we just have another name? Why can't they? Why do we have to stop at Z and then, we can't come up with another name. We just got to go to the Greek alphabet because we don't have enough time to come up with a better name than Beta.
Those are the rules, man. Just
that's a dumb rule. And Beta is so impersonal. I don't want to be taken out by Tropical Storm Beta. Give it a name. So we can look back on it.
I don't know.
Remember when Beta got us? No, I don't know. See,
well, I mean,
Betamax.
I think about when I was in the Navy and Andrew hit Florida and we were part of the rescue stuff there. I mean, so every time you meet somebody named Andrew, I mean, I don't know that I like them with these personal names. Like I feel bad for every lady named Karen out there because, now all of a sudden, you're that person. I mean, I kind of like the betas and the no personal attachment to some of these devastating storms.
I can't believe you're taken aback by Beta, yet I haven't heard a peep out of you when it comes to the zombie hurricane that we had this year.
Yeah, that was had. We have it right now. There's a zombie cyclone out there. We're at Beta now. So basically the rules are you get 26. And if there's any more than 26 named storms out there, you guys are screwed. We don't have enough time to come up with another name that starts with A. Who has that kind of time? So we're just going to go to Alpha. Well, Tropical Storm Paulette, way back at the P's, was a tropical storm for a long time last week, and then fizzled out, and then kind of went on vacation, had a power bar or something, then woke back up, and is back as a tropical storm. So Paulette is here, even though she died last week, and we're already on Beta. So you're getting Beta,
So they can come back to life and they get to keep their
evidently,
same name?
it's 2020, Jason. It's all possible.
I mean, is it
yes.
a cockroach? What's the deal with that?
It is back in the far eastern Atlantic. It had been a tropical storm. It became a tropical depression. And then it woke back up and became a tropical storm yet again, or a cyclone in that part of the world, and could very well be headed in our direction on its second life. Meanwhile, Beta, who wants to look back badly and you talk about Andrew got us or all the other names, Beta. That's just I don't know. Give it a
the
name.
Beta. I mean, I think it's because it's your age and you understand what a Betamax was and you remember those ill-fated things.
It just strikes me. You know what it sounds like?
It's not real. It's a
like
test
some
hurricane.
kind of post-apocalyptic world where we don't no longer have names. We have letters and numbers. And Beta, it seems too. It's not personal enough.
I mean, it would be fitting if Omega got us.
Well, see, that's the fear. What happens when that occurs? When we finally have Hurricane Omega? Well, it's over, and we're at Beta now, man. We're only 24 away. How much time do we have? Maybe this one will die and come back come back as well. But Paulette, we have a zombie, whatever,
zombie
cyclone working, and Beta attacking us right now. 2020. Dallas Cowboys aren't signing anybody coming off the street. The defense looks I'm trying to find something kind to say.
Work in progress?
It looks like a defense that is structured to be resistant, if not able to stop you between the 20s, and hopefully once you get to the red zone, you're going to screw things up. It looks like that's the defensive plan because manpower might be down. It might be the plan. It might be just the outcome. But either way, Cowboys haven't slowed anybody down in real fashion, though two pretty good teams have been against the Cowboys defense. Earl Thomas still available out there. Seems like an option that might be appropriate considering, we're playing his former team. He's out there. He's available. Safety is certainly a position on the team that could certainly help the backside of that defense considering they can't get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
But Jerry's got a point when you think about bringing in players because of, like we just talked, the injuries.
Yeah, but they just brought in Ron Leary over the weekend, although they were unable to come to an agreement. I don't know why. I don't know, if Ron wanted too much money, the Cowboys wanted to give him less money. Maybe he didn't pass a physical, but they did bring him in to get a look-see. So, on 105.3 The Fan up in Dallas, Jerry was asked about possible roster additions like Leary or maybe an Earl Thomas. And here's a very long-winded Jerry answer to say no.
Yeah, you're going to have to keep your eyes open this year and keep loose. You're going to have to do that personnel-wise. This is the rosters were expanded, different rules that you've got relative to your practice squad, the bringing them over, who gets exposed, can you bring them over without exposing them, being another team, have the ability to get them. All of that was loosened up because it was anticipated during this COVID that you could have players that, dare I say, injury, more incidents of injury because you're having more players play that don't have weeks and weeks and weeks of competitive conditioning, and I emphasize the word competitive conditioning. No one knew. This is a first. There were times when they spent weeks and weeks and weeks in years past working out in training camp type environment, going light on the contact, but weeks and weeks and weeks in a competitive situation. That makes a difference. You just can't push yourself hard enough without supervision, in my mind. And so with all of that in mind, I think we will see more, not turnover is not the word, but you'll see more time spent adding players to rosters. And that won't just be us. That'll be throughout the NFL.
No. All that to say no. I mean, they'd rather pull somebody off somebody else's practice squad because they've been in a training environment than, say, Ron Leary, who's been working out in his home gym.
Don't we agree with that, though? I think there is a line of thought there that does make some sense, because what we're seeing is we realize, much like the incubation period for the COVID, you bring a guy in, you get him all working. It takes a couple of weeks just to find the scheme. You're certainly not hitting him. And by the time he finally learns everything a couple of weeks down, when you're committed to him, that's when these injuries start to take place, because it's that repetitive kind of thing. And we're seeing it, 6 weeks into this. Maybe it's worth not grabbing anybody off the street just because of this. I'd rather have a guy that's a little bit more battle tested. And what does Herm Edwards always say? What's the best ability? Availability. And maybe not as talented, but available might be the better answer, at least for this year.
Well, and I guess at this point, if they were to try to sign Earl Thomas, you got to bring him in, isolate him, test him, 3 times over 3 days of isolation. And then you get to work them out, and then you either sign them or you don't sign them. So it's not like Earl Thomas would be available for you this Sunday anyway. Whatever was going on with Ron Leary, they didn't come to an agreement. Nobody knows why yet, or at least not that I've read, not that I spent a lot of time trying to figure out why we didn't get a Ron Leary signed. But I think the safest play right now is look who's on practice squads. And quite frankly, with the expanded practice squads and the expanded rules for practice squads, there's some vet guys who would normally be on the couch that are on a practice squad for a reason. And that probably is the smarter thing to do. But at the same time, it means a guy like Earl Thomas ain't going to be around. And you can keep hoping for him, but it doesn't appear that is in the cards, or wouldn't he already be there? But at the same time, the fact that Earl Thomas doesn't have a job in the NFL right now tells me there is some bad stink on Earl Thomas that we just haven't heard about yet. But all the coaches know, all the GMs know. But when you think about Will McClay and their couch scouting department, over the last 3 or 4 years, some of the guys they've been able to pull off the street and get production out of, that is a skill, and probably a whole bunch of names on a whiteboard right now up there at the Star Complex of guys that they would like to call, but because of the COVID hassle, if you will, they're not getting the call.
With the injury situation as it stands, with nobody coming down the pike, as we sit right now on a Tuesday afternoon, I look at the game coming up Sunday as a possible biblical beatdown.
No.
I have a great fear that 3 touchdowns might be a good day if they can only manage to keep it that close. We're talking about a team that was moved on at will for a lot of the game. Now they made it ugly, but we're talking about Seattle offering a component to the offense that the Cowboys have quite frankly not seen, nor seem to have the ability to slow down, and that's Russell Wilson. And certainly that's what I'm saying on Tuesday. A lot can happen between now and then, injury reports and all that on Friday. But right now, it looks like this is going to be a tough one on the road, and we'll continue to talk Cowboys all week long.
It will be, but I mean, Vegas only has it at 4.5, and
I think it's
Dallas has played Seattle well throughout the last couple of years with that same Russell Wilson, and even going into Dallas a couple of years ago and getting a win up there when T. Will had that incredible catch along the sidelines. They tend to play better in these kind of situations. But even Jerry said it's not like we're taking a great team on the road up there to Dallas.
We're not taking a football team into Seattle that's really hitting on all cylinders at all. We've got a lot of work to do. You saw it defensively. We've got some serious work to do. We've got alignments to work on. We've got basic, if you will, defensive technique to work on. We're still working through the kinds of things you might be working through midway through training camp. Now, other teams are too. And so but we've got a lot to work on, but that's the good news. Boy, if you needed anything for this team was to get out around those fans at the stadium, get out around a win like that, that'll do more than if we'd have had another month to work on techniques and structure of our defensive alignment against each one of these teams. Now, this game, folks, this game is about passion. This game is about who wants it the most. it's more about that than it is some of the things we run in analytics.
I tell you, analytics is the buzzword. I mean, I bet you up there in the Star where nobody's allowed in, they you go up there now and you got things on the wall that say like fight, passion. There's a big old sign that says analytics. There's a big old analytics sign up there now. But I hear what he said, and maybe he's going with the rah-rah, you showed a lot of heart. That's what you're going to need when you're up there in Seattle, where there won't be any fans. And that's the best news for the Dallas Cowboys. The 12s won't be there.
A long time between now and then. Injuries are going to play a key role. We'll continue to keep abreast. Don't forget, Mike McCarthy, head football coach of them Cowboys, joins us every Friday in the blessed AM. You get him in the PM. We'll talk about with him on Friday. When we come back, a new color of pants, seafoam green. Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys unis. They changed and they didn't tell us. We'll talk about it next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. The security system in my house is from BSG. Video cameras, video doorbell, other features. They're fantastic, easy to use, all in one app. They even have a waterproof sensor that you can put on your gate, so you'll know if someone's gone into your backyard, whether it's in the middle of the night or, a worker or a neighbor kid or something during the day. You're going to know if your gate's been open. It doesn't set off your alarm like if somebody's opened the door or broke the window, but you do get a little alert on your phone. So at least, check the camera, see what's going on in your backyard. You get that additional peace of mind. You could even put this sensor on your shed, your boat, your RV. A BSG system is about $29.99 a month. Starts there. That includes the smart home LCD panel installation, monitoring, and you call now, you'll get that gate sensor free and no payments for the first 6 months on select packages. Just go to bsgtexas.com/radio to see exactly what I'm talking about. Again, that website, bsgtexas.com/radio. BSG is generally 20 to 30% less expensive than some of those national brands. In fact, if you're paying about $50 a month or more for your security system, call BSG. They'll save you money. 210-877-1222. I couldn't be happier with the security system that I have in my house from BSG. We moved in January. I think about other systems that I've had in the past. This is incredible, and it's a great local company, BSG. Been in business in San Antonio over 20 years. Call them 210-877-1222 or go to the website bsgtexas.com/radio.
No Justin Bieber bump music here. Stop it! Knock it off! San Antonio sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
This ESPN San Antonio Sports Center update's brought to you by Alamo Water Softeners, 274-6122.
This is an important message for all current and former Boy Scouts.
The Boy Scouts of America has declared bankruptcy.
If you were sexually abused in scouting, you could receive compensation, but you must file a claim by November 16, 2020.
You may file a sexual abuse claim regardless of your current age or the year the sexual abuse occurred.
Visit officialbsaclaims.com or call 1-866-907-2721.
Paid for by the Boy Scouts of America.
When you're stressed, you just don't feel like yourself. New Natrol Relaxia, a full line of drug-free supplements to help you manage occasional stress and anxiety. A special blend of herbals keeps you feeling calm and balanced throughout the day. Because when there's less stress, there's more you. Try new Natrol Relaxia. Learn more at relaxiamood.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
At Dos Equis, we realize you've missed celebrating quite a few holidays this year. That's why we're proposing a makeup holiday. St. Patrick de Mayo of Independence Day. Sounds very festive. Dos Equis, a most interesting beer. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Copyright 2020.
Are you experiencing financial hardship and finding yourself pressured of owing the IRS back taxes? The experienced professionals at Allied Tax Relief can relieve you from IRS collections, Most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Marie, a pleased client of Allied Tax Relief.
My hours were cut in half at work, and the IRS was threatening to collect $27,000 I owed them. I contacted Allied Tax Relief for help. They were able to put a stop to the IRS collections. Once they negotiated my debt, I walked away paying only $700 to the IRS.
Especially during these times of need, Allied Tax Relief is able to negotiate various Fresh Start programs to relieve you of your IRS tax debt. Call Allied Tax Relief now, 800-299-2006 for a free consultation. Use this pandemic situation to your advantage. Now is the best time to get IRS forgiveness. Call today, 800-299-2006. This call could save you thousands. That's 800-299-2006. 800-299-2006.
ESPN San Antonio, breaking news.
There's some interesting breaking news coming out of San Marcos. Texas State basketball coach Danny Casper announced his resignation today. According to Texas State, AD Larry Tice accepted the resignation. The university will not be making any additional statements. Knowing some of the stuff that we heard about Danny Casper and the program that he was running with some players that left, my gut feeling is this wasn't a voluntary resignation for Danny Casper.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Coach Casper back in June was accused by a couple of former players of just a very difficult environment to play and to coach under. Racially tinged comments were part of the accusations. A variety of other things going down underneath that, and some of the things that Coach Casper was doing. And in this season of times like this, what used to be is no longer allowed. It's unfortunate. I don't know if that had a role in it, but certainly you have to believe that part of that had to do with earlier in June accusations. So Texas State actually got a pretty good roster of talent. Casper had done a pretty good job of recruiting there. That's going to be a pretty good gig to pick up. I wonder where it will be outside of the building, if they do go outside, or who will be inside. We'll keep you up to date with that for sure. Danny Casper out at Texas State as their head basketball coach in a very terse statement released by the university. No other details to be found. I'm sure more will come in the days that follow as they begin their coaching search for this season. The inquiring minds want to know, and this is something that we talked earlier on the show, for those of y'all that were with us in the 4:00 hour, about the blogosphere in fandom now, and how in the blogosphere with the Dallas Cowboys in particular, that the word analytics and the use of analytics had become a point of discussion and almost disparaging between Mike McCarthy, what his plans were when he was hired, and what has actually happened. Well, those same people that are way into the weeds with the Dallas Cowboys noticed something when the season began, that the Cowboys uniforms had actually changed, that they were not the same. This on the heels of the discussion of what was the truly best Dallas Cowboys uniform, and most of us agree, white jerseys and those fantastic silvery, greeny kind of luminescent pants that they've worn for so long. Well, come to find out, inquiring minds, well, he kind of dug into it and decided to look and see what it actually is going on. And they went after the game. And I'm trying to find the two that did it. David Hellman was one, and went onto Reddit and asked the question, are you guys seeing something different with the uniforms? And they found out that, in fact, there is. The Cowboys have reverted back to the uniform pants color from 2012, some 8 years ago. The Pantone dye that is used to make their pants has been steadily changing over the years, and it was getting greener and greener. And the Cowboys didn't like that, so they have, in fact, changed it, even though a lot of Dallas Cowboy fan really appreciates that seafoam green, that luminescence that we've seen come and go over the years. I'm one of those. I like that color, the original Dallas Cowboy color. I'm not so much a fan of the silver. I like that little seafoam involved.
Did you notice it until it was pointed out to you that it was different?
Now that I see it, I do see a difference. It is more of a classical look with the seafoam. This is more glitzy, more of a time that really has not been my favorite. Over the summer, have you seen the memes popping up with the Color Rush full seafoam jersey and pant match, which I always thought looked pretty good?
It's funny because you say seafoam green, and you really gotta look at. For me, I'm looking at some of the photos, and seafoam green, is that really silver? Is that one of those like you go into a carpet store, or you're looking at drapes, and they give you 40 different names of colors that they all look kind of the same, right? So when you say seafoam green, it doesn't appear to be any green in it. I just appreciate the pants that don't show me your butt sweat stains. I mean, I don't need John Madden.
That's the current iteration.
I know it, and you watch the game this week and you think, boy, John Madden and this Telestrator would have a whole lot of fun with that.
I want to give credit where it's due. David Hellman and Kelsey Charles up there in the Dallas media were the ones that dug into it. They found out that the dye lot had steadily changed, and it has altered it back to 2012, though the inquiring minds are very curious if that's going to be kind of an ongoing issue. And I say that juxtaposed against the Atlanta Falcons uniforms this weekend, that they were different. They weren't great.
You know what? I will say this, though, when, because every year, there's always a variety of teams that make little changes to their uniforms, right? I look at, when I saw Atlanta's on the mannequins, I didn't like them. I liked what I saw from Atlanta this weekend. There were parts of that uniform that I didn't mind. I was thinking, God, why did I think these were going to be so bad? I mean, that'd be like changing your hat mid-show. Why would they do what they've done right now with their uniforms? I thought they looked pretty good.
As far as the cowboy pants go, where do you stand? The current iteration or the iteration that we saw last year, which had gone almost to the extent?
I don't want to see a man's butt sweat. And so if we could get some pants that don't show me that, I think I would appreciate that a little bit more. As Babe Laufenberg said during the broadcast, while we were trying to decide if Michael Gallup's butt cheek hit first or his elbow, that he was spending way more time than he ever has looking at another man's butt. I think if I don't have to see your butt sweat, I think we're all better off.
After the devastating defeat by the hands of the Dallas Cowboys, Atlanta Falcon fan has resigned. We have his resignation letter. We'll look at the Game 3 with the NBA and put a bow on the show. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, sports injuries, dislocations, sprains, strains. They have 2 San Antonio locations, extended hours Monday through Saturday, on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Injured? Get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. To learn more, go to TSAOG.com/orthonow. Again, TSAOG.com/orthonow.
Dallas Cowboys football is on ESPN San Antonio and 102.7 Jack FM.
Zeke Elliott walked all the dogs.
Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, Alamo Water Softeners, Ewald Kubota, The Root Pub, and The Angry Elephant.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Car wrecks never come at a good time. But at Thomas J. Henry, we make this stressful time as easy for you as possible. Ready to talk to an attorney? Our attorneys will come to you. We can help you make your medical appointments, get you into a rental vehicle, and even advance money on qualified cases. If you've been hurt, start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Everybody's taking advantage of Diamonds Direct's 5-year zero-interest financing offer. In fact, our store hours have been extended to include this Sunday to accommodate the demand. But hurry, this offer ends September 30th. Pick any item, get the Diamonds Direct amazing value price, make no down payment, and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Whether your purchase is $3,000 or $30,000, you can do this. 5 years, zero interest on approved credit. And remember, we'll be open this Sunday afternoon for your convenience. Get details and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Whether class is in school, at home, or a little bit of both, school goes on.
And Staples has everything you need to start the year right.
From lap desks to notebooks, noise-canceling headphones to UV sanitizers.
And all at amazing prices. This week, notebooks and rulers are just 25 cents each.
Now that's a back-to-school deal you don't want to miss. Shop in-store, order online, or pick up curbside. School on, save on at Staples.
Ends 9/26. Limit 30. Limits vary online while supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Marvelous, because I, a thespian, have been on a quest for the perfect insurance.
Sweet balcony.
I've requested no less than 13 balconies.
That's a lot.
All the world's a stage.
Well, with Liberty Mutual, thou customize and thou saveth.
That's the spirit.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's the Blitz. We're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. We're about 40 minutes away from your Texas Rangers D-backs game, 6:30 pregame. First pitch a little bit after 8 o'clock. Your Texas Rangers brought to you by GPS of Texas gets going then. They've got an earlier one tomorrow. Will be a short show for sure. First of all, my question really is, and this is kind of one of those rhetorical things, you can't quit fandom. You can't just decide, I am no longer going to be a fan of a team. I stand by that. You can change allegiance, but in your heart of hearts, your first favorite, I think, remains always your favorite. And an Atlanta Falcon fan after the debacle this week, and after many in the Falcons eras, resigned today, sending a letter basically saying, it's not me, it's you, and I'm out. And I quite frankly don't blame them, though. Do you believe you can just change? Could you, even if you lived in a different city and were adopted different habits and viewing things, and I don't think you can ever leave your fandom.
No, I mean, you're a fan, and I mean, let's face it, we've been Cowboy fans forever, or pledge being a Texan fan. I mean, being a fan means a certain amount of frustration is going to come with it, and you grow up with it. I mean, it's a lifelong thing. I don't think you can divorce a team. You can have side chicks, you can have other teams that you can root for, but secretly you're always going to be a fan of a team. What I appreciate, and this guy, he pens a really nice resignation letter. But in it, he points out that for 20,171 days, the team has failed him as a fan. Now, I don't know what was different for him on 20,160, 20,100, but 20,171, he finally say enough is enough. I can't do this anymore.
When you stand and watch your team, watch a ball just spin around for 3-4 seconds and not jump on it. I can see the anger. I can see the give them a break, go away for 3 months kind of thing, but I don't think you can ever divorce it. Before we are going to be out here in just a couple minutes, Michael Jordan is entering the NASCAR world, is buying a team, getting involved. It is so remarkable to see Michael come from the caves. He's been an owner of a basketball team, but for the fact of the matter is, for 10 years, we saw Michael about once a year for something, and now he's been very much involved with a lot of different things. Keep in mind, he just played a huge role in getting players involved and active and playing again in that very brief kind of shutdown that went on with the bubble a couple of weeks back with the NBA. He's donated $100 million to social progress through $10 million a year for the next 10 years, and now buying a NASCAR team. I got to be honest. I'm not a NASCAR fan. I find it a very regional thing that I don't find much interest in. It doesn't seem like that's that profitable, but you guys think the buy-in might be excessive, but you're going to make some money. I just feel like I don't know what the buy-in is for the NASCAR, but I feel like if I had that same money and I put it someplace else, I could have the same amount of fun and not risk losing so much money. But I guess that's not the case.
No, I mean, that's like buying a Starbucks and putting it across the street from another Starbucks, man. You got a license to print money. NASCAR makes a fortune.
Okay.
And he signed Bubba Wallace, who is probably going to sell more gear this year than anybody else, right?
Will he?
If you've not looked, but NASCAR is on those cars, there's an ad everywhere. You don't see what actual color the car is because it's covered with logos that people pay a lot of money to be a part of. Same with your outfits. I mean, what's going to be interesting to see Michael Jordan with everything that he sponsors. Now they're going to just spend money on NASCAR. He's going to make a lot of money. He's in the Carolinas. Maybe he's a fan. It's not for me, but to think that you can't make money at the NASCAR level. Now, if you're riding at a track locally, that's a money pit.
No, I'm not saying he's not going to make money. I just felt like whatever the buy-in is, I don't know what it costs to buy a team, but I have to figure it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars from beginning to end. If I had that same amount of money and I took it someplace else, I might be able to have just as much fun without the fear of losing it, or at least being competitive. I know that NASCAR's got to be tough. Didn't Brad Daugherty? Was he a drag racer? Brad Daugherty, former North Carolina type, was a big race car type as well. I think there's some in the water up there.
I could be way off on this, but I believe I saw one of those E60 Real Sports type shows with Joe Gibbs, who said that he got into NASCAR as opposed to trying to run a football front office or buy a team because he could make so much more money. And in fact, Joe Gibbs Racing has made so much money, he could probably buy a couple of NFL teams. Yeah, well, Michael Jordan as an owner has proven that's not part of his philosophy.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't gonna win.
But he does make money. I look at Michael Jordan, who forever was quiet behind the scenes. He must have enough money in the bank now where he doesn't care, man. I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to be vocal about certain things that he used to not be vocal about because, he didn't want people to know where he stood on things because, everybody buys shoes. He's changed that. And I think Michael Jordan getting involved, whatever's happened to his life where he's crossed the bridge to let the guard down a little bit, I think we're all better off for it.
Do you think he'll draw one fan? One new fan to NASCAR. Maybe he will.
Absolutely, he will.
Because the fans of Michael Jordan, they're not going to see Michael driving. It may be a car with the Jumpman logo, I guess, on the hood. And maybe there's some cool gear going to come out of that. But as far as
there's going to be the Nike Air Racers that are going to be coming out. They're both going to be left feet. I don't know, but damn well there's going to be some marketing to it. And
not
again,
Nike, Jumpman,
Nike, whatever.
Jumpman.
But let's face it, if Michael Jordan's at an event that's NASCAR related and that generates money, it doesn't matter. If he gets some people to come watch, some people to pay attention, if he can help grow it, or it's in his backyard, why not?
There are rumors afloat that NASCAR might be coming to the COA, the Circuit of the Americas, up there a little bit east of Austin. That would be good news. Maybe we'll get a chance to see Michael and his team up there. We do have a big game tonight. We've gotten so accustomed to sports on every evening. Last night was kind of strange without basketball on. Tonight you get it back. And a strange stagger. We get the Nuggets and Lakers yet again while we continue to wait for the Heat and Celtics. They'll go tomorrow. It is 2-1 Denver returning home. You wonder, they're comfortable here. They've been here a couple of times before, but here we go again. Is it too early to say must win, or down 3-0? That mountain is just about done.
Denver has to win tonight or they are done. I know they've battled back from 3-1, but down 3-0, forget about it. Not against this Lakers team.
Jamal Murray, you just feel like it's going to have to go get 35, and somebody else is going to have to offer something. They did it all right. They just didn't close the game out. in a strange play for Anthony Davis to take a shot. He hit it and they win it. It is game 3 tonight. Denver Nuggets, I think, are going to pull it out. I think they did everything right. Jamal Murray's certainly capable. I think I'm just waiting for that explosive game, that next step for Michael Porter Jr. in the conference semifinals. And I think this is our conference finals. I think this will have to be the game if they're going to get it done. Denver holds on, make it a 2-1 league to take the second one home. Jason, say goodbye.
Say goodbye. Go change your hat, Rob.
ESPN San Antonio is all new weekdays. Start your mornings 5 to 9 with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zuber. 9 to 11, the Dan Levitard Show with Stu Gotts. 11 to 1, Greeny. 1 to 3, the Max Kellerman Show. 3 to 4, Chiney and Golick Jr. 4 to 7, the Blitz with Jason and Rob. 7 to 8, Spain and Fitz. And 8 to midnight, Freddie and Fitzsimmons. Another reason to keep it locked to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. The security system in my home is from BSG. Not only did they do my security system, but also all the smart home technology.